dun 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 dun. No, you.
My name is Cuban Pete, and I live for the rumba beat. Chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
Chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
All right, what are we doing, pal?
I'm doing good. I just barely got back from the third Hobbit movie with my lovely girlfriend, and she really liked it, especially the super cartoony action that they have in the extended edition of the third movie.
Where Legolas is just like 3 arrows, like.
Yeah. More like at one point there's. Have you seen the extended edition for the Hobbit?
I think I have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay. The thing that shocked her was kind of the moment where the chariot goes up and just disintegrates the heads of 6
fools
at once.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
That bit, I was like, wow. I'm amazed. They kind of made it an R-rated film for the fact that it was.
Well, I mean,
grotesque violence.
Tries to make everything R-rated if he can. He's like, how do I make it so that it's not? If the blood is black, then it's not. I'm not doing the right accent, but whatever. I'm gonna switch to my crown because this is the only way that I'll do this podcast with you. Hold on.
Deal. That's totally fine. Yeah. I'm excited to do this one since I'm thinking that we should do your.
What'd you say? Oh, you
favorite.
Froze.
This one's still your favorite.
My favorite.
Am I still here? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just kind of want to do that at one since it's your favorite. I want to kind of like pick your brain as to why. I thought that would be fun.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, we won't do any of the weird ones yet.
Excuse me, I burped.
It's dark and full of theories.
That's me. That's my voice.
Yep.
I don't know if you knew that.
The man, the myth, the legend, the man of 100 different voices.
What if Jon Snow went to Valyria rather than joining the Night's Watch? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. If you enjoy deep dives into Harry Potter or Star Wars, check out our sister channels.
Oh, it has a
Darth Theorist. Links are in the description.
It has the ad.
John dreams of walking through an ancient, ruined, smoking landscape. Statues of dragons and Valyrian sphinxes are everywhere, and the sounds of monsters of various kinds make him shiver with fear. As he walks through the ruins, John sees a gargantuan shape move within the fog, its glowing blue eyes staring down at him. He sees pieces of a huge set of horns, wings large enough to cover a city in shadow, and claws long as spears. John,
you gotta love the interesting images that they put for these.
John's eyes are drawn to a large trove of treasure, and in the center,
a
sword with a golden lion pommel. Then it ends, and he's back in Winterfell.
I like to
John rubs his
close my eyes and imagine there are better images.
Yeah, especially since I actually used Bakugan as one of the models for the monster in the Aegon episode a while back, where he's just traveling in the world, becoming Phileas Fogg with Luke and Rhaena being the Passepartout, and Abigail Fix characters.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't ever blame the editors because a lot of the time the editors have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. So unless we give them specific images, they're just going to use whatever they have. Oh. And I know you do give him, you're like, and you've even for the viewer out there, this guy sometimes will put a giant like full page like editors highlighted and be like, listen to me, I need you to use this picture, please. And then I'm like 35 pages, and then I realized like 20 pages are just you like yelling at the editors to use proper images. I'm like, okay, well, at least
it's like
as I thought.
Yeah, I haven't like gone like super over the word count limit. I've just been putting in images
No,
because
I mean, ever since I put the word cap out, it seems that because I always would get nervous when I open your scripts because they're always so fucking long. But then it'll be like 27 pages, and I'm like, oh god. And then I'm like, oh, at least 8 to 9 pages of this are just images with you like hefty notes to the editor being like, please, 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 please use this image. You guys always fuck the images up, please. I think they're getting the point. It's happening.
yeah. Yeah, because I remember with the Aeon image, like I actually provided an image for the monster that I wanted to use, and even like just said, "Hey, use these images," and they
I
ended
also
up
sometimes
not
wonder
using
because like sometimes you also will give me notes and I'll look at your note and I'll immediately be like, fuck this guy. And I won't take the note.
Yeah,
You know? Sometimes you'll like
Yeah.
you'll put links to videos to be like, watch this video and deliver it like that. And then I'll be like, I'm not watching a 3-minute video to deliver it the way you want, man. I'm just gonna deliver it and hope it works out. Like it's not happening. But I mean,
Yeah.
the editor, if you're providing the images, I don't understand why they would say that to you.
yeah. Especially since there was kind of the whole thing where, since like it's literally in the note. If
Yeah.
it's for for a character that's
And
not
it also
in here,
makes it easier. They don't have to search their archive of weird monsters or whatever and swords and shit. Like that's making their job easier. For me, you're making my job harder. I have to watch a 3-minute video to figure out the deliver. No, fuck that.
well, the good thing is, ever since you told me, I have not done that.
That's true. Also, fuck you for ever doing it. But also, I usually deliver the lines pretty good, right?
Yeah,
like
I would say so. Yes.
I don't think I do a bad
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, no, you do a great job. I just misinterpreted a comment that you made a while back. Back in
As you do.
back.
You misinterpret a lot of things that I say, but that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
love you. We still work well
Yeah.
together. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think as an actor, if I see a line, I should be able to interpret it as I like, right? Just give me the emotion. Just give me the emotion. Don't give me a full YouTube video to watch. Be like, deliver it exactly like that. No, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
No. We could be doing this for 30 years and I'll still like, remember that time you made me watch the full movie of El Dorado, the City of Gold, for your one line delivery, you pervert?
Yeah, maybe we'll be doing this till we're 90.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I like doing this. It's fun.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'll definitely. I would like to keep doing this. Maybe one day after I'm in between actually publishing
it'd be great
novels.
if we got to a point where we're all rich and we're just doing this for fun. Where it's like this is our fun, and not our like I need to pay my rent, so I have to do Robert Baratheon 5 times this week.
Yeah, and thankfully, good old Valerie has been making life a lot easier. I think like she does
a little bit. Yeah, I had another person message me today with their reel, and I was like, oh, this person they have like very good acting chops, but they didn't have any accents in their reel. So I was like, I need to. So I'm gonna maybe send them the script as well, because I think the only thing that Valerie needs to work on is the accents. Because like the accents are not solid enough. I really like the Dorn accent. I'm like, this is better than my Dorn accent.
Yeah, I loved her Dorn. I love her Ariane accent. Like that episode was great. Like she does a really super good job, and she did some great acting for that. And it required a lot of acting from her. Same with the recent Jon Snow Reborn and Hot D. That required a good amount of acting from her, and she did a great job.
Yeah, the new person I'm gonna maybe try and move towards Star Wars, but like we all know that there's barely any female characters in Star Wars. They practically don't exist. It's kind of sad and horrifying.
Yeah, especially since there's a lot of good ones. But admittedly, most of the female characters in Star Wars, it kind of exists for TNA, sadly, in a lot of respects.
I don't know if I would call it TNA, but I mean they exist for the reason to have representation of women. I don't think that it's T and A.
Well,
What are
well,
you
I'm just-
talking about? T and A.
well,
What are you like?
well, I mean,
Wow,
like-
man, you know, I love the fucking Isla Sakura with her belly showing. Wowee. Stop.
there's also like other characters in the comics, like Darth Talon,
In
or
the comics, yeah.
yeah. But
also
I guess
in
like
the
in
comics, there's character like Dr. Alpha, like Alfra. She's fucking sick as hell.
I haven't seen. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to. I like a lot of elements
Mara
of the
Jade.
EU.
You ever heard of Mara Jade?
I love Mara Jade. Mara Jade's awesome. I need to dig more into her actual like the material around her, but like what I understand of her story from what I've heard is just sounds like it's super cool.
One of the things that I've always been sort of semi disappointed about in Star Wars is that Darth Revan, the introduction to that character was a video game where you could pick your gender, your race, you could or not your race, but your race, but like
you can pick what
human race. I meant like, you know, you could pick different races within human beings, and that they canonized it being a man. And I was like, man, it would have been such a cool experiment if they just always made it so ambiguous that nobody in all of history of Star Wars knew if they were a man or a woman. Like that would have been so fucking cool. And then it would have been even cooler if it just like they opened it and it was a lady. And I'm like, it's a lady and she's so cool. And everybody thought that she was a man. Like that's the, you know, the toughness of writing is like, just write it how you want. And then it could be whatever you want. And, you know, I played as a lady Revan. I played as a man Revan. In my brain, Revan's a man, but I would have loved if Revan came out canonically as a woman. That would have been so fucking cool.
It would be awesome. Like I think one of my favorite experiences. I haven't played the KOTOR games, but I did watch the Old Republic animatics, and I honestly love watching the Sith female stuff. Because I honestly like when it's kind of the Sith Inquisitor and the Sith Warrior storylines.
Yeah.
And especially I think it's cool that it's like a lady Sith warrior who's able to just mow through people and eventually becomes the Emperor's Wrath, and then how that carries on into the expansions with the Eternal Throne and stuff like that.
I think for me, the reason that I would have thought that it would have been so cool if Revan was canonically revealed to be a woman is that everybody who played that game has their own idea of what Revan is. And like a very high percentage of people played that as a woman. And it would have been like such a cool vindicating experience for people to like have to take a step back and be like, Revan was a woman? I was playing as like they have to like decanonize their own Star Wars experience in their brain and be like, I was playing as a lady the whole time, but I thought I was a man. It's like, no, you weren't. You were playing the memory of this is a memory that exists in Star Wars, and you thought you were a man, but you're actually a woman. And like that's kind of the point of Revan, is that like it doesn't matter, right?
Oh yeah, that is actually a really good point.
Yeah, your decisions are what's cool, and it really doesn't matter if Revan is a man or a woman, and that's the point. And I kind of like hated everything that came after that in terms of Revan, but like they still sort of clung to that idea of like he's not. We don't sexualize him. We don't have him genderized in a very specific or important way. He could still be a woman in every decision that he makes. So it's like, why even do that? You know, maybe just make him wear the mask the whole time, and like you never know after that. That could have been really cool too. Anyway,
yeah,
but everybody loves Revan. Like that's the other thing, you know, like people love Revan. So
yeah,
it would have been so cool to just turn everybody in their head though. You know, like it's a lady.
I like doing stuff like that. I need to do more stuff like I kind of want to do more stuff like because a lot of the time I kind of have to I think the closest I've ever gotten was kind of revealing that the Valyrian gods were the result of schizophrenia in the Daemon and Rhea Royce.
That's like what's that game called? The video game series with it's like a Nordic video game, or fuck, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I don't. I actually might not. I know the main Nordic one that I'm aware of is God of War.
No, it's not. It's not God of War. It's this other one where you play as a young like teenage girl, and she gets banished from her village, and she's seeing ghosts and shit everywhere, and she's fighting all these demons and stuff. And then you as you go through, you're like, oh, this is like an ancient representation of schizophrenia. Like that's what's happening in the game.
Oh,
It's a very cool game. Yeah. There's two of them. I think there's a third one coming out actually, not too long for.
Dang, I hadn't thought about that. I was just thinking kind of a Beautiful Mind, but in Westeros.
Right.
Yeah, that one's still my personal favorite. But I want to kind of go into this one and see why it's your favorite. I think a big part of it is probably the fact that you got to do Ardith Bay. Is that one of the reasons?
I don't know. We'll see. I can't even remember what this episode is.
Dreaming about that place for years, and he couldn't think of anything else. Blowing at his cheeks.
Kind of these, so they kind of bleed all together, except for the ones where
they do.
Like,
you know how much I do a week? I do so many of these videos a week.
Finally, he goes to the yard.
Totally understandable.
On a dummy. At that point, Tyrion walks in. Impressive work. You must be the terror of all the straw dummies across the land. You here to mock me? Why, yes, I am. You haven't learned an important lesson. Wear who you are like armor.
My Tyrion's
have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I would agree that your Tyrion is great.
The hell do you know about that? Try being me sometime, and you'll know. My father would probably treat me better if I were a bastard and tall and true-born in a dwarf. Well, have you ever thought about changing that? That is hilarious. Not a chance. My father would throw a feast in celebration of my death. Fair. But I heard that you lost all your Valyrian steel swords in Valyria. What if you and I could recover it? Tyrion stares at Jon as if... What if you and I could recover it? Leans against the dummy and looks down at the dwarf. I mean, it's you and me. I've dreamed about it, including that sword over and over again. It seems like both of us need an opportunity to prove ourselves. Getting our hands on Bright Roar would etch our names into history forever.
I remember this episode. Okay, so
I've
Jon is the one that comes up with the idea. For some reason I remember it being Tyrion, but Jon's the one like, let's go get a sword from a magic land, right, dwarf? And he's like, I guess we could do that.
Yeah, I just kind of had an idea of, I guess that originally I was thinking it was Dragon Dreams, and then kind of as I was writing, I was like, actually, you know what? Let's just kind of make it a Venus flytrap situation where the things that are within inhabiting old Valyria are trying to draw Valyrian-minded people to it, so they can feed on it.
Let's pull it back from that for a second, because I like what's happening here, which is that Jon Snow is the one proposing the idea. In any other scenario, Tyrion would be like, well, how about we go find a sword in ancient Valyria? And Jon Snow would be like, what? No, I've got to go to the wall and, my honor. But Jon Snow is the one being like, you want to go get a secret sword that your fucking family lost, you dwarf? And he's like, okay, I guess. That's fucking good. That's fucking good.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's have Jon be the guy that says,
But how does Jon know about it? I guess he just reads about shit, and then the Lannisters lost their sword in old Valyria or whatever.
It's I one of the things that Jon is actually pretty into history. He's a big fan of the Young Dragon, and that's a
good idea, man. See, these are the things that some of these fucking writers don't ever think about, especially in Star Wars and in Harry Potter. They don't think about just changing something very simple, even though the story, you've already been given the prompt. You've also changed something different here that is important and good, which is that Jon is the one who's like, I need to get the fuck out of here and I don't want to go to the wall. Maybe we go on a sword quest. That's good. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I like doing kind of prompts like that where we get to actually have the character have some agency. It's why I really like writing the Rhaenyra Reborn episode, where I took a lot of cues from just what are her motivations, as well as got to just script her death as it happens in the books, because it's such a horrifying moment.
Right. As you do, we're likely going to die, but only a few people will miss you, and nobody's going to miss me. So what are we waiting for? And the one became two. Together, the dwarf and the bastard started planning on what they're going to do. Once they've decided that
The
it would be
dwarf
best
and
to
the
go to White
bastard.
Harbor and
That would be the name of
Atlantis,
this if
and
we
who
could
can
name
set
them
off.
properly.
Their
instead
first
of
stop
those
is Tempest to get some supplies.
episode names
They
we
hear
have to
about a
do all the
Dothraki
time.
call being married to a Valyrian
Yeah,
girl,
for sure.
but pay it
I would
fine.
definitely
When they
much
arrive at Lease,
prefer-
Tyrion immediately heads for a pleasure house.
You can't do that though
Tyrion,
because people don't
We're going
click
to
it.
burn money on that.
Yeah.
If I'm going to risk going to old Valyria, I'm going to enjoy all the wonders of the fabled Litseni pleasure houses before my death. I could get one for you. I have enough coin for both of us.
No, I'm good. I'll
No.
wait for the right girl, if that's fine with you. Just give me enough for some food and rooms.
Tyrion shrugs and gives Jon the coin he needs.
Yeah.
With Tyrion busy in the pillow house, Jon is free to explore the
This
city.
is,
with
I think
ghosts.
this is one of the
Those
one
cynics stare at the
episodes
young
that I
man with a
didn't
massive wolf,
cut out
sometimes
your
even toss coins
perverted
at him.
bullshit.
Carefully, he pockets it and keeps walking.
Oh,
Tug
admittedly, like, I kept it
comes
tame, where it's just
You kept it
Tyrion.
tame enough that I didn't cut anything
He
out.
gasps
Yeah.
when he realizes that the urchin has snatched.
Admittedly,
his
it's just
purse.
part of
Jon turns and
Tyrion's
tries to grab the thief.
Tyrion's
but
character.
Mistwit evades him.
Ghost, after him. But don't kill him.
Silently, the white direwolf runs
But
out.
don't
with
kill
his
him.
teeth, seizes him around the leg, pulling him to the ground. Sighing, Jon walks
Yeah.
over to the thief and rests his sword against the side of his throat.
All right, let's see who you are.
Without a word, Jon pulls back the hood to reveal a silver-haired girl. For a moment, Jon pauses, then reaches down and pulls his purse out of her hand.
I'll be taking that, and these other coins as well as compensation. What's your name, lady?
Ooh, I hit that compensation well.
Elena
You hear that
Boba Blackfly.
compensation?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, that was
Yeah,
good.
I love that bit. Yeah. Yeah.
But I said compensation in the way that he would say it in his accent almost perfectly. I think that was good.
Yeah, I would agree.
What's your name, lady?
Yeah, I would
I'll be
agree.
taking that, and these other coins as well as compensation. What's your name?
was
lady?
Yeah,
Good.
I love that bit.
Baby,
Elena,
I'm
Elena
getting
Boba
the northern.
Blackfly.
I know how
Can
to
you get
do
this
it
fucking
now.
dog off me?
You hungry? Seems like you haven't had a good meal in a while.
Elena frowns and accepts the offer. Jon
For all
has
those
Ghost
listening,
release
the
the girl,
lady is also
who
me.
gets up.
Yes, he does a very good job. I would be very interested to see Valerie do like a character like this. I'm interested to see her nettles when that comes up.
Yeah,
Comes up
she's getting.
specifically.
She's getting. I've had to like deepen and heighten voices to like make her voices sound a little bit more differentiated. But I've given her like private, not lessons, but like just,
Tutoring.
yeah, it's like if you're doing Cersei,
Tutoring?
you have to always sound like you're about to yell at someone. Like you have to. There's a way to speak with each character, right?
Mhm.
So, and she's getting better. So.
Yeah, I believe in Valerie. I like her. She's doing a really good job. I really was impressed by her Sarah, and
I was blown away by her Dorn. I think we already said this already, but like her
Yeah.
Dorn accent is like, I'm like, this is fucking good. This is better than my Dorn. And like, I've been doing
Yeah.
this for years now, and my Dorn is still shit. What the heck?
yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Like, the Tyene and Ariane specifically were great.
and dusts herself off. Casually, Jon extends his hand, which she takes, and the two became three. Finally, they reach a
And the
good
two
inn and send
became
word to Tyrion's
three.
pillow house. Elena devours
Yeah.
the fish and bread.
I have an
finishes
idea
later.
to
When Tyrion comes back, he finds them two eating and chatting.
Why
kind of
don't
just
we just
say, hey, let's just have her be a platonic
Tyrion,
friend.
This is Selena. I
Yeah.
figured that we could use a
Good
thief from
choice.
this old Valyria.
So that's
Yeah.
where you're going. I'm in. That could be the best score anyone has ever gotten.
It's like
Yeah,
a Star Wars
it's
movie.
settled.
This whole episode
well,
felt like a Star Wars
fine, I
adventure. I
suppose.
like that.
We'd likely need someone with her particular brand of experience.
Not
I
even
imagine that you
Tyrion was
almost
like,
lost your
well,
poster.
it's good luck to
Yes,
suck a
I did.
dwarf's dick or
Wonderful.
whatever.
And I might ask if you've stolen anything from anybody important recently.
No. Why do you ask?
You did steal something from someone important recently, didn't you?
Fine, damn you. I stole something from a palace down that way. Few medallions, a few hundred coins, and one other thing. Was
A
actually
sword.
hoping to get out of
A
here,
very
but couldn't
expensive
resist keeping
sword.
up my skills.
Yeah.
Who did you steal from? Elena is about to answer when a group of men wearing fine armor stride into the common room. Immediately, they look around and focus on the trio. Specifically,
Yeah, I loved writing this,
Immediately, she
bar-
looks to
little
Jon,
bar
puts his hand on
scene.
her shoulder and stands up.
Sirs, we're just a group of travelers from Westeros.
That girl stole several very valuable items from my master. You should hand her over.
No, I don't think so.
It's my favorite
We haven't
character
needed
to
this
do
girl
some
since we're
random
going to
guy.
old
I
Valyria.
love being a
You're
random
clearly
guy.
joking. No, he's dead serious. I'm Tyrion Lannister, son of the great Tywin Lannister of Casterly Rock. We're on business, so if you hinder us, you'd have to answer to him. At the mention of Lord Tyrion, the Lyseni official.
The one thing
flinches.
that I
He
don't
steals
like,
his
I don't
resolve
do
and
enough.
puts
I
his
think in the Game of Thrones is like when I get a random character in Star Wars, I do a crazy voice like every time. Where I'm like, well, like I go absolute cartoon bananas, and I don't do it
Yeah.
enough in Game of Thrones because I'm like,
I-
well, Game of Thrones isn't as cartoony, right? So I can't. But like this picture, like he should have been like, I'm tossing a coin purse in my hand. Can't you see? Like I should have done like a crazy.
I think that would have been really funny. I think that would have been awesome. I would have loved to do that. I maybe I should say go wild. Maybe I should just put
What you should
random
do
person.
is when you have that character pop up, that's where you should put the picture. Because then I'll look at the
Yeah.
picture and be like, oh, this guy's like a weird coin pervert. Where he's like, you don't even know what I've done with these coins before you showed up.
Hand and a sword. Before he can do anything, John smashes his fist into the man's face. He reels away, clutching at his nose. The other men draw their swords, then glance at Ghost as the huge wolf rises and bares its teeth at them. John rests his hand on his own blade and prepares to draw. For a moment, the room sits on the edge of a fight as the two sides square off. Tyrion groans and slips off his chair to get next to Ghost while Elena casually refills her cup. The fight erupts. John draws his sword and cuts down the first man while Elena grabs her cup and splashes another in the eyes before shattering it on his face. Tyrion rushes to the bar and climbs on top of the table to get away from the pair of attackers trying to seize him. The two men leap at John. One knocks away his sword and grabs him, but John punches him in the face before grappling with the other.
Tyrion, a little help. I'm busy at the moment.
Thinking quickly, Tyrion grabs a pen and slams it into his enemy's face, breaking his nose and sending him to the ground. Hefting the makeshift weapon, Tyrion hits another man on the top of his head, causing him to slump to the ground, a boneless heap. After a look around, Tyrion grabs a second pan and extends his arms in both directions.
I am the god of tits and wine. Fear me and my fucking war pans.
With a yell, Worf starts swinging his crude weapons at
I
Tyrion
love
that
that
comes within
moment.
his reach.
I-
Elena grabs
and you did it
rams into the
perfectly.
face of a man
It was
trying to
so
grab
funny.
her,
Yelled
then
it
picks
more.
up a
It
chair
doesn't-
and
I didn't
smashes
yell
it
it
through the
enough.
back
I
of
should've
the man
yelled
trying to
it
grapple
more.
John. Once he's
War
free, he smashes
pan.
him until repeatedly hits the man in the face until finally he goes still. Grunting, John grabs
Fear me and my freaking war pan.
My fucking war pat! Like I should have done like a Robert Baratheon style yell. I don't know why I
Yeah.
didn't.
But yeah, I love that. You did
sword
you
and
delivered
fends
it
off
pretty
another
much
attacker
perfect.
as Elena stabs one in the
My
gut
favorite
with a knife.
ad lib though
At this
is
point,
still
the rest of
the
patrons rush
well,
over
that's
to join the
just
fight until Ghost
rude.
leaps at one and rips his arm off, causing him to drop to the ground, clutching at his stump. That immediately causes the whole room to freeze in horror. Taking advantage of the opening, Elena grabs Tyrion by the hand and ushers him out, followed by John and Ghost. The three of them escape into the night. John and Tyrion initially aim for the docks, but Elena convinces them to run past her residence, a small hole-in-the-wall room underneath the tavern. When they get there, she grabs a large number of items, including a great deal of coin and one other thing, Valyrian's steel sword. It was different than most blades John had seen. No crossguard for one, and a long leaf-shaped blade.
Which one
Immediately,
is this?
John thinks of ice, though this weapon isn't
Yeah, I
as
took the image from
ludicrously large
House
as
of
his
David.
father's. When Elena hands him the weapon, John swings it experimentally.
Well, now we know why they were after you.
Thought I'd sell it to someone, but figured that my new friend might need a good sword if he's going to fight like that. This is my thank you
My
for
accents are pretty
saving
good.
my life.
I
Oh,
do.
we
Yeah.
give you pride. Thank you.
Don't thank me. We're not out of the city.
Indeed, we should start running. We'll likely have to pay through the nose to get out of here.
Then let's get running.
I've got some spare cloaks, but that big dog of yours is pretty noticeable, and dwarves are pretty hard to miss.
Fuck off. After some preparation, John and Elena go to the street
Yes.
disguised to buy a
Fuck
horse and a
off.
cart. Once they have it, they bring it back to Tyrion and Ghost and hide them under some rugs.
Yeah.
And bags.
Am I a good
Elena
actor,
puts
Lord
some mud
Inquisitor
I-
Dunn?
in John's faces.
You are one of the best actors I have ever met. And I've met Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, if you've ever seen that movie.
I know, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got to be an extra in a movie with him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was they were filming Unicorn City near my house, and I got to go around the set and since it was being filmed in the amphitheater really close to my house.
Right. On your
Yeah.
resort or whatever that you live on.
No, I live in boring suburbs in my grandparents' old
I thought
house.
you were like, the people that ride around in a horse and carriage.
The Amish?
The Amish, yeah. You're not an Amish? I thought you were an Amish. I thought you
I
were an
have-
Amish that you're like, I built underground my house, English, an internet bunker. And that's where I work from.
Now, while that would be awesome, I am not that rich.
It sounds like the plot of a Chuck Palahniuk novel or something.
I do know.
The Electric English.
I do know that Brandon Sanderson had enough money to build his own underground supervillain lair, where he has this giant movie theater, a huge atrium, and then a board game room, and then a secret
just for board games.
board games and his magic cards.
Oh, I mean, same thing, I guess, kind of.
And then it's got a like a bookshelf door that takes him to his house.
Jesus, these people have too much money. I can't even afford to repair my AC right now.
Yeah,
But,
and well, he's been a writer for a really long time. That's
yeah, but millions of people listen to my voice every day.
Oh yeah.
Why am I
yeah.
poor? Why can't I be rich?
Yeah.
They reach the gates. The guards take one look at their faces and yell grayscale. That gives them just the right opening to run out into the open area.
Yeah.
Sighing with
I
relief,
wanted to
Gordon
use
pushes
a
buttons
bit
on
out of
and
the
sits
Scarlet
up there in
Pimpernel
front with
movie
Elena
with
and John, goes to pass alongside them.
Jane
Now that was an
Seymour
adventure. Hopefully we don't
as Marguerite St.
again.
Just.
I trust you won't steal anything as valuable as a Valyrian steel weapon.
Don't worry, Thierry. I won't do anything stupid.
Tiri. I like saying
Thierry.
Tiri.
I'm not saying your whole name, so I give you a nickname.
I'm not saying your
John
whole
is
name.
easy, so I lop off a few syllables.
Well,
Syllabus.
I've never had a nickname, so why not? For days, the three of them
Never had
travel
a
until they
nickname,
reach a
so
river town
why
where they
not?
sell
She's
their
a fun
horse and cart to
character.
buy passage on a river
Yeah.
downstream.
Specifically
John
because you
starts
didn't make
muttering
anybody
about the locals
creep on
swindling
her.
them, but there's little
Yeah.
they can do considering that there could be a Licini nobleman
Not even
chasing after the
Tiri.
sword. The
Yeah.
trip down the River Royne ends up being a
Yeah,
relaxing adventure.
Tyrion's a
Very
bit of an
often meeting
ephophile,
with
but he's
two other
not that
travelers
much of an
to spend
ephophile.
while they adjust the sails or keep the ship on track.
Like,
During
I
the evening,
respect
John and
you, I
Elena
don't
will look
want
at the
to
stars and
fuck
chat.
you.
So, how did you come to be a thief on the streets of Lys?
Pretty simple. It was that or starve. My father lost everything gambling, so I ran off when he and everyone else were sold into slavery to pay the debts. Lived on the streets ever since.
You remind me of my little sister Arya. I think you two would get along.
Maybe, so long as she's not boring.
She's anything but boring. There was one time where she stuffed sheep dung into my other sister's mattress. Sansa was so angry at Arya for ruining it.
You're joking, really? Oh, I have to meet this sister of yours. Most noble girls are so fucking tall, but she sounds like fun.
Eventually, they reach Valentis.
I
and
love
all
a
three
girl
of them
who
marvel
knows
at the
where
sight.
to
Together,
shove
they venture
shit
through the city, asking
and
questions about
why,
old Valyria.
you know?
Some give them wild stories about Chimera and other monsters that roamed the broken islands that had become Valyria, that the 14 flames perpetually smoked and erupted molten magma, that anyone that went near Valyria would go mad seeing strange hallucinations, and the Valyrian gods.
Yeah, I
After
just
a long
wanted to
day of
set up
investigating
what
and
we're going to
visiting at
be
least 2 dozen inns and
facing
taverns, three
here.
of them find lodgings.
Yeah, you should have
Exhausted,
gray men.
Tyrion rubs his eyes and
Yeah,
sips
like
on his
as
wine.
zombies.
I should need to purchase
They
some
should've
stuff.
came
I
out.
actually,
These won't
I,
do.
I forgot
want me to top
about
them off,
the
Only
the
if I can
stone
find
men.
some.
Everybody forgets about the stone.
Anyway,
man.
how are we going to get there?
Yeah. I guess my thought was that the chimeras eat them or something.
I mean, yeah, but like on the beaches and shit. Like, imagine just a couple like coming, and they're like, "What the?" And then he's like, "Grayscale, too much
Yeah.
for us. I don't. No one let them touch you." You know, like, and then
Yeah.
they get in closer, and it's like, "There's none." They're like, "There ain't no gray men in here because they all get eaten by the actual scale monsters."
Yeah, that's a good point. I need to think of it more. Like I honestly am focused more on the monsters than the stone men, especially since I think of the stone men being on the Royne. Since
Well,
there's
it's not always like they send them back to this area of the world because that's where it came from, I guess. But like, why did it come from here? What is going on here? Is there we did one once that I thought was so cool because like I kept talking to Quaid, being like, "Quaid, you gotta write one where like there's like a stone man king," and he's like, "There is a stone man king."
the Cersei Reborn episode.
Yeah,
But I think it's the one where you're
and
thinking
he could transform into anybody, and I was like, "Oh, he's like a faceless man, but like a scale man. This is so fucking cool." But we only did one, and I'm like, we explored a little bit there, but like we didn't explore what we could. There's so much other shit. We could make one from the perspective of a gray man. Like a gray man is just like that's where it starts. Like like he's like like give me something like that. I want to see something like that.
Oh shoot, I didn't quite get that far in the grayscale epidemic. I was more kind of focused on like just kind of more of the human cost where it's people dying on the opera.
What if you start it like with characters that we don't even know, right? Or like maybe just pick a character where the grayscale outbreak happened once and it's mentioned like one time. And then you just have like almost like a Resident Evil style story where they're trying to like figure it out, and then like it just like it just like kills them or whatever. And then that's where the story ends. And it could be like a full 45-minute long story about like grayscale going bananas in this like area that they're trying to cure it. That could be so cool. Why not do it?
I need to do that in another. I do need to do that in another theory. I think with this one, I just kind of did a pandemic story that's kind of focused around like people dying of grayscale or dying of asphyxiation, and
the characters could be called Leon, Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Wesker of the
Okay.
Wesker Isles. And he's like, I'm from
I will-
Wesker Isles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, you don't have
Okay.
to do that, but a Wesker Isles does sound like something from Game of Thrones. It absolutely
I
does.
Wesker Isles. Okay. I'll definitely do that. Do that at some point. I think that sounds fun.
Maybe the Wesker Isles is where the grayscale started because they were doing weird dragon curses to try and like use dragon scales to like make themselves tougher or something, and then they like accidentally created grayscale and like it turned their bodies into lizards.
We've created some sort of T virus.
Oh no. On the Wesker Isles? No, nobody would have thought that would have happened.
I love that. The feet replacement, that's actually a little reference to Inkheart, which is one of my favorite books. And it's actually funny. Inkheart's actually informed my writing process where Cornelia Funke actually in the book, I think it's the second book, Inkspell, describe her author character describes their writing process where he'll come up with a person in order to have an image of the character and then go from there. And that's actually informed a lot of my writing from since I was 14 years old, where I would cast my books in my head.
That's a good way to do it, man. Like, so when I write stuff, a lot of the time I play D&D with like a lot of my friends, right? And then we'll come up with ideas, and then we'll cast them out to everybody, and then other people will have points of view, and then it'll come back to me, and then I will draw a picture of it, and I'll be like, is this what you were thinking? And they're like, no, but that's way cooler than what I thought. I'm like, okay. And then we take that picture and we just imagine the character as that image, and then it informs decisions afterward. Like there was this character, and his name was Keller Modine, and they're like, that's a pretty cool name. That sounds like a cool name. And then I'm like, he's a vampire hunter. He hates vampires. And then they lost contact with him for like a long time, and then he came back, and he was a vampire. And they're like, Keller Modine, you're a vampire? And he's like, I know. I hate vampires, but now I am one. And they're like, what? They're everything kind of like deteriorated around their idea of what Keller Modine was. And then I drew the picture of him, and they're like, oh, he's like a RoboCop. He's basically RoboCop of the vampire world. And like, he's like, I hate vampires, but he like goes around and kills vampires. But he's also like, but I do need to feast on human blood. Please, if you can give me a corpse, I'll feast on it.
Okay.
It became this like really cool character that they loved. Like, I thought they were just going to kill him when he returned. They're like, no, Keller Modine, he's our friend. We can't kill him. And he became a vampire RoboCop within the world of D&D.
That's honestly really dope. I love that.
Mhm.
That is honestly really, 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 really cool. I like that.
You like Keller Modine, do you?
Yeah, I like the idea of Keller Modine.
Well, he wants to feast on your blood. But
Cool.
he also loves you. He also loves you.
I'd say, okay, just you can have my blood, just don't kill me. But yeah, and kind of one of the things that kind of helps is I've showed you guys a while back, but I have whole Pinterest boards dedicated to each of my books where I'll just cast each single one of the characters and kind of allow that appearance to kind of inform on their characters and their personalities, and kind of I'll actually debate a lot about like what models to use for which characters, and I'll sometimes shift around depending on stuff. I find myself frequently using Timothée Chalamet though for young dark-haired guys.
He's skinny, he's got sharp features, and he's got dark hair. Google, help me out. Oh, it's Timothy again. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've used him
Get a crew to sail us
times or something like
With
that.
Lena's money and yours, we should be able to buy a small boat. But then there's the issue of storms. Supposedly this is the bad season, especially around Old Valyria.
If it's a small ship, we could run the risk of capsizing.
Before they can discuss their options, a man in fine robes comes up to their table and offers Tyrion a sealed letter with a golden phoenix on the wax. Casually, Tyrion breaks open the letter, then reads it over. Once he's finished, Tyrion's eyebrows raise, and he hands it to Jon. Curious, Jon reads over the letter. Elena pokes her head over Jon's shoulder and then whistles.
Abriel of House Megir wants us to come visit his manse. Damn, that man is fucking rich. Even I've heard about him.
Do you think, Tyrion? Could this be our opportunity? Maybe he'll help us.
Maybe. I'm a tad wary.
We'll have to try at least. It could be our chance to get help.
He's probably just some eccentric looking for amusement. But it's probably a free dinner and perhaps a bed for the night, and I'm happy to not look a gift horse in the mouth on this one. When the three companions arrive at the palatial manse of House Megir, they quickly are escorted in. They're greeted by the master of the house.
There he is.
Trimmed white and silver beard.
Best
Grinning,
voice.
Gabriel warmly welcomes them and ushers them into a large
Yeah,
room.
I imagine you were
Ghost. He reaches a hand out.
really
starts
happy.
scratching
Or
his
like,
ears.
I get to do Artist Bay?
Tail against the
Dope!
wall, letting his tongue loll free.
Welcome, welcome. What a marvelous animal you have. You must tell me how you acquired such a unique creature. You are from Westeros.
It's pretty
I take
good.
it. Where
Yeah,
the
I
old
would
from.
agree. It's
I'm
pretty
Tyrion Lannister
good.
of the Westerlands. This is Jon Snow from the north, and I know quite a bit about King's Landing. Excellent, excellent. Butler, bring some food for my guests and I. We shall be here for a while. I have many questions.
Theatrically, Gabriel claps his hands,
Many
causing
questions.
servants to bring out trays of food and carry them to the tables. The three companions exchange looks.
Yeah, it
and
is
shrug
definitely one of
sit
your
down
best
along with their
voices. I would
host.
totally
Looking
agree.
as eager as a child on his name day, Gabriel pesters Jon and Tyrion with questions, though most of his questions are to the dwarf. Finally, Tyrion decides to cut to the chase.
Not that having an intelligence conversation with an educated person isn't a great relief.
Fuck you too, Terry.
Anyway, I was wondering if you might tell me what you're looking for. Well, it is about someone very precious to me. A long time ago, my daughter, Talisa, left for the Seven Kingdoms. I haven't seen her. Whenever someone from Westeros arrives, I always ask them to visit. Maybe someone will give me word.
The older man wipes his
And I
forehead
tell
and looks out the
them
window
never
toward the
to
west.
read from the
Elena
book.
puts her hand on Gabriel's shoulder, causing him to
Do not read from the book.
Tyrion clears his throat, bringing Gabriel out of his reverie. Eyes filled with emotion, he walks over to his desk to retrieve a stack of papers.
These are her letters to me. I have tried sending some to her, but there's no mention of her ever receiving them. I've tried telling her that her mother passed about a year ago, but her messages don't mention that. They're always addressed to mother and father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I
Do you know where
honestly
she could
think
be?
that the reason
Perhaps
I
we
do
could
this voice actually very well is that my sister is married to Middle Eastern, like her husband is Middle Eastern and her family is Middle Eastern. So I know when they are speaking to me in a very gentle way and when they're speaking to me in a very intense way. Like I know when it's happening. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
would
that's
agree.
why. Yeah, I have the lived experience of a white man being yelled at by a Middle Eastern person, and they're specifically Egyptian.
Yeah, okay.
They know. One time I picked up a book and all of them went, "You must not read from the book," and I was like, "Oh God, I'm sorry."
Oh, that is so funny. I love that. That's hilarious.
I don't think he's even Egyptian.
Probably. I can't remember. I think he's from Turkey. I can't remember.
But he
Find
does
him, give me some
know
of your
what it
letters.
feels like
is a
to
generous
watch
offer, John.
over a
I
tomb
would
for over
appreciate that.
3,000
But enough about my
years.
woes. You haven't told me your purpose for coming to Westeros. Please, I must know.
We're going to Old Valyria, Lord Gabriel. We're trying to find Brightball and any other treasures hidden there.
For a moment,
he's
Gabriel stares at
Israeli.
them, then
Okay.
leans forward.
He's Israeli,
Seeming
then.
stern.
Uh-oh.
My young friends, I cannot in good conscience allow you to go to that place on your own. Well, at least you have some sense. Well, that's why I'm coming with you.
It's kind of
Tyrion
like an
and Elena
Obi-Wan
stare at the
voice.
older man as he
Yeah.
It's a little bit like an Obi-Wan voice where you do the same thing but you change the accent a little bit.
Yeah, just ever so slightly. I would agree. Then you just get the a little bit of
Instead of being like Docking Bay 94, he's like Docking Bay 94. It's the same, but it's different.
yeah. And I also wanted to do a little reference to Dr. Doppler from Treasure Planet here. Because I was like, that's why I'm coming with you. And he's just kind of running around, like tossing stuff into a bag. I just thought that would be
stands
funny.
up and starts running around, grabbing random items and throwing them into a chest.
He just
This
a
is
big
exactly what I'm
Yorkie
waiting
kid.
for. I can
Yeah.
buy a small ship, furnish us with supplies for the journey.
I
and go on this
thought
quest
this as
with you
well. Where
charming
he's
people.
like he's
Uh-huh.
talking to them, but he's also like he's like, we need to pack now. We have to go immediately.
Yeah.
Really? Of course. All of my life I've wanted an opportunity like this, and here it is screaming for me to go. I must go on this adventure with you. I have knowledge of old Valyria's layout, even a few maps. I know all about its denizens, and much of its old technology from multiple first and second-hand accounts. So, when do we leave?
Looking eager, Abriel glances from one companion to another, almost like a child. Tyrion and Jon exchange looks with each other, and Elena breaks
Is this
the
the
silence.
character you
Can I
made
call
up,
you
or
Uncle
is this
Abe?
a actual
Everyone
character?
starts.
This was a character I made up.
It's a good character, man. That's stuff. He's so fucking good.
Yeah, I really liked him. I just kind of had the idea of I just kind of extrapolate like there is a Mygear family in the books, and there's a Lord Mygear who's actually like a super warhawk dude. We never meet him, but he's apparently a super aggressive type since he's part of the more militant. He's the head of the militant faction of Volantis. But I just thought, why not just kind of have Talisa from the show have kind of explore her family and kind of in a way that makes sense for the story. Usually we go with the Jane Westerling and don't go with Talisa. I was like, why not put Talisa in here in a way that or Talisa's family and kind of characterize that family and add a little bit of depth there, where she's got this dorky, super academic dad and wants to go on an adventure.
But he's also so cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of so many other sort of fantasy elements exist outside of Game of Thrones that don't exist inside of Game of Thrones, and this brings in like a couple of them where I'm like, oh, these are things that I like from other fantasy things, and this is here. You know, this is like the Billy Crystal character from the Princess Bride, or like the or like, you know, that like the guy on like the like, all right, in the Never-Ending Story is like, you have to go through before this shit happened. Like he's like that guy, but like cooler. He's like, I also know how to use a sword, and I can stab if I need to. Like he's
it's
a much cooler character version of those two characters.
Yeah, he's kind of that. He's both the dorky kid, but he's also the grizzled badass.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Laughing at that, Abriel most of all. Grinning from ear to ear, the older man seizes Tyrion's hand and starts shaking it vigorously before doing the same with the others.
Welcome to our company, Abe.
And 3 became 4. Now that the company has been created, Abriel buys a ship and supplies. Jon looks forward toward the smoky outline of Valyria, leaning on the railing
Yeah,
of the vessel.
super rich.
As he examines the horizon, Abriel walks up beside him and follows his gaze.
You look like a man who is moving toward destiny.
I've dreamed of coming here most of my life, walking through the streets, seeing the monsters all around me, even a dragon the size of Winterfell.
I don't think that dragon would be in there, mainly due to the reports of parasitic fireworms, at least from the story of Arya Targaryen. I've dreamed about this place too, at least a few times. Mostly I see the buildings with dragon statues made from Valyrian steel and stone standing above rents and cracks in the ground.
Seems like this is our fate.
Indeed. Long have I desired to see the ancient land of my forefathers. Perhaps you have some Valyrian blood.
Maybe.
He's cool. He's so cool.
Yeah.
Some lady
He's
from the
a
Free
cool
City
guy.
into Westeros.
The world has endless mysteries, my boy.
He's cooler than
Perhaps
Jon
one
Snow.
day you shall find out who she was. Perhaps she is alive and will be proud of the man her son has become.
Jon smiles and offers his hand to the older man, who takes it warmly. Then they see it, a storm rising up from the west. Abriel frowns and
I
blinks.
mean, this
then
is
his
an
eyes widen
example
as
of
the
a
figure
story
seems
where
to
Jon
coalesce
Snow
out of
is
the
not as cool as he is. Like, this is Jon Snow being like, I'm running away from home. Like, he's not cool yet. He hasn't done anything cool. Like, he's like, so what do we do now? And Tyrion's like, what do you mean? You're the one who put us on this quest. And this guy's like, well, we have to go to this specific peninsula, and then we might find something interesting. Like no one here has done anything cool except for fucking what's her name, the lady who pickpockets everybody.
Yeah, it's basically a pair of rich pampered boys go out on an adventure.
No, it's a rich boy, a guy raised by rich people who has no money, who joined up with a rich guy who has a lot of money, and they find an even richer guy after a pickpocket told them to go somewhere else. It's fucking crazy. This is like a 1980s like babysitter horror movie or whatever.
I did get to watch Baby's Day Out, which was kind of
I didn't say a baby movie. I said a babysitter movie, like a babysitter horror movie. Okay, he's now the babysitter but he doesn't know it. This is the thing. Well, I suppose I'm your babysitter now. I did not understand this when I first went about buying the ships for this expedition. But here we go.
Oh yay, I am the adult in this situation.
Yeah,
I have to
oh
be
my
the
God.
grandpa.
I forgot how much gray I have in my beard and hair, and you guys are all so. You probably don't even have pubes yet, do you? Either of you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wall.
let's go.
John sees it as well. A feminine figure with a low body coming up out of the waves.
feminine
Her upper torso
water
appear to form
lady.
from the clouds.
Out
Is
of the
that
water.
real? I do not know. That creature matches the description of the temples of Meraxis, one of 3 great Valyrian gods. Perhaps this is some remnant of her consciousness. Nobody gets this close to Valyria and lives. This could be why.
John runs to the others and tells them to get ready for the storm. Tyrion
Forgot
and Elena
about
look up
this
from
water
the ship
shot
and stare in
thing.
horror at the storm.
Real
They
Pirates
don't
of
the
see
Caribbean
monstrous shape
shit.
within, though. Not
Yeah,
wanting to be caught
I
in
kind of
this,
pulled
John
it
leaves to
from-
furl the sails and let the wind
I
push them
actually
further
wrote about
up the wind.
this
The storm puffs and tears at the sails.
this
Elena,
idea
John,
of
Gabriel,
Meraxis
hold
kind of
as the
being a
drives them closer
storm
and closer.
and
As
ocean
if
goddess
she were eager
in
to swallow
the
them, the phantom
Damon
Meraxis
and
speeds forward
Ray
over the
Royce's
waves.
son
Her skirts
video,
roiling
even
up
though
the
this
water
came
as
out
she and the storm
first.
come near and near the ship.
Yep.
I just pulled it.
Hang on!
Shaking, John looks up at the giant.
I love that bit.
Closes in on them, gazing down at the ship with a mix of cruelty and curiosity.
Yeah.
Almost lazily, she swings her hand at them, causing a wave to wash.
This is
over
one
the
of those
decks and
episodes
push
that could
Tyrion against the railing.
Definitely
Before he can go to
benefit
the
from
side,
some
Elena
sound
grabs him and
effects.
hangs on, threading her hands through
Oh,
her,
yeah.
holding him tight.
Yeah, it's just too bad we don't have
Rips
the
at
money.
sail, straining John and Ariel's
Yeah,
muscles
or
and
the
breaking
time.
away.
I mean, I can
Tyrion
do it.
lowering
I
a
just
scream
don't
of
have the
obscenities into
time.
the wind
That's
as
the thing.
Meraxis brings her hand down
Yeah.
on the ocean, creating a giant wave,
Yeah.
pushing them toward the shore.
Yeah, I tried
The
to
waves
put a
buffet
lot
across
of
the ship, causing everyone to cling to the railing.
description to kind of make it really vivid in the watcher's imagination of what exactly is happening
Scott
here.
glides up over the railing of the boat and walks to him,
Yeah.
opening her arms and singing.
We could
seasons
just do like
of my love. Instinctively,
and have
he reaches
people
out to
like,
her. but Elena grabs him and
like
holds
we
her
could do
close.
that.
A watery copy of her own
Yeah.
father appears soon after and beckons to her, but Elena keeps her eyes closed and starts yelling of the
Yeah, I
storm
wanted
try
to
wrap
experiment
her
with a
up.
bunch of
Gabriel
different
gasps as his
horror
wife and
stuff
daughter,
with
Talisa,
this
appear in the
episode.
clouds, beckoning him over
Yeah.
the railing. Eyes wide, he reaches out. Then Meraxis appears behind them and pulls the cloud apparitions apart with a cruel smile. Embryo screams and clutches his head, wondering if this were some dark vision of the future. John's watery apparition was different. It was a lady with prominent stark features, no older than him, staring affectionately at him just off the bow. She looks like an older version of Arya. John clings onto his line, staring at the woman, wondering who she could be. Then Meraxis' hand comes down and crushes the watery vision, then sweeps her hand forward as if she meant to flip the boat over as easily as a child's toy.
Get ready. Don't let go.
Accompanied by a loud thundercrack, the waves shove the boat to the side, almost capsizing.
Sometimes I forget
John
that
blows
I
up
do
the storm
John
defiantly
John's
as ghosts
voice.
snarl. Tyrion was
Yeah.
crying,
It sounds like John.
while Elena held the dwarf close.
Yeah,
as if
it,
to have
it,
someone
it does
to
sound like Kit
eyes
Harington,
squeezed shut.
honestly.
Gabriel looks completely destroyed as he stares up at where the images of his wife and daughter had been. Grunting with effort, John runs to the tiller and wrestles it into position.
Help me, please. I can't do this on my own.
As if his voice snapped them out of their visions, Elena and Abriel rush to the rigging and brace their feet against the railing to keep it under control.
Brace
Like
their
a horse
feet
running
against
with
the
terror,
railing
she
to
pushes toward
hold
Valyria,
back.
straight towards a rocky area of the shore.
Everyone, brace yourselves.
With a loud crash, they slam into the rocks, the ship skidding onto the stones until it comes to a halt. Shaking with relief and fear, they all run down below deck, only to find that water is splashing through a giant hole in the hull where a large stone spike had broken through, not wanting their supplies to be damaged. The companions grab what they can and get out of the water, but they only manage to save half of their food. Most of their clothes are ruined, but they do what they can to salvage them. Finally, the storm winds down and leaves them all soaked and shivering from both cold and from fear. Ghost shakes himself
And
throwing
from
water in all
fear.
directions, looking about as displeased as he could get. Gabriel squeezes his beard, trying to dry out the thick white folds before wringing his hands and the bottom of his robes. Elena hugs herself, shuddering and shivering. Tyrion
wanna hear
gets
more
down into his
lines from him.
undergarments and starts smacking his wet shirt
Yeah.
into dry rocks. Once he's done hitting the rocks, Tyrion quickly takes stock of their situation and groans in despair. Not wanting to wait, John and Abriel look around and start gathering their supplies.
We are now shipwrecked, and we're all going to die, likely in a gruesome, painful fashion. I'm probably going to be eaten first because you all have long legs.
I'd carry you.
That may be the most humiliating and touching thing anyone's ever said to me.
You just have to trek all the way around the mountains.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. That's a good line. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I actually pulled that from one of the
I'd
worst.
carry you. Yeah.
I'd carry you. That's both touching and humiliating.
I've been rewatching the main show Game of Thrones, and it was the episode where Jorah Mormont and Tyrion have to fight the gray guys on the boat, and they get, and then like the end of the episode is Tyrion like like getting sucked down into the depths, and then he wakes up on the shore and like Jorah Mormont like, and it's like Tyrion, Are you awake? And he's like, yeah. Oh fuck yeah, yeah. And then the first thing Jorah Mormont says to him is, "You're heavier than you look." like yeah, he's like, "I saved your ass, you fuck. You're so hard to pull out of the water. What the hell?"
That's great. I love that. But yeah, as well as like I decided to like the gruesome, painful fashion.
Yeah.
I just have Tyrion be the sourpuss character.
I don't think you've ever put Jorah Mormont into any of your scripts. What about a whole Jorah episode?
I've done I've done him a couple times as a blink and you miss a cameo. I probably need to do it more. It's mainly just I have the book version.
I do a great Jorah. You want to hear my Jorah?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
There are those in Westeros who will fight for you, Khaleesi.
Okay, that's actually pretty much spot on. Perfect. Okay, that's perfect. I love that. That's great.
Just so you know, you have the I have the power to do it.
I have the power.
The power of love, Khaleesi. That's all that matters here.
That's what he sounds like, I think, right? I'm pretty
sure. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
There are miles and miles of monsters. I'm not taking territory between us and civilization. We'd be better off swimming back to Valentis. At least the sharks would be preferable to whatever the hell happened to Arya Targaryen.
We're going to try.
I shouldn't even be here. Helena is probably going to die. I definitely will.
We're going to get out of here, Tyrion. I promise.
Yeah, I actually took that line from
to take that rowboat and start making.
I actually took that line from Your Highness, which is probably one of the worst fantasy comedy movies I have ever seen in my life, but it's still got some funny bits.
I don't mind that movie because it does what we all expect it to for a fantasy comedy high guy movie, right?
Yeah, fantasy stoner humor.
But the one line that I noticed there is like, "I'll probably be eaten by sharks." I expected you to have Jon Snow be like, "There are no sharks in Old Valentis," like, because like in Dorne there are no sharks, right? There are no sharks in Dorne, right? Like that's what Jaime gets met with when he's like, "I'm surprised the sharks didn't get us."
Yeah, I forgot about that line. I'm actually rewatching it with my girlfriend. Since she's never seen it before.
I think the best part about that is like Bronn is like, "Whatever you do, don't say anything. Don't talk. Don't do nothing. Let me do the speaking." And then as soon as the guards come up, they're like, "Hey, you! Who are you? What are you doing here?" And then he's like, "Oh, our ship capsized, and we didn't know what we were doing. We just need someone to point us in the right direction." And then Jaime's like, "I'm surprised the sharks didn't get us." And the guy on the horse is like, "There are no sharks in Dorne." you just straight up is like, "What are you, fucking stupid?" Like, people don't get eaten by sharks here. They get bitten by snakes and scorpions, you asshole.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
My way back.
You're going to go into the open water when that is waiting for you.
John points at a new storm gathering above the ocean. Eyes slightly wild, Tyrion stares at the tempest, then grabs a pack and swings it over his shoulder.
Upon further reflection, I will take my chances with the monster-infested wasteland. What were those strange visions? Were they real? Ebriel, you're the expert in this.
I do not know, Tyrion. Some have said that they saw the gods of old Valyria, but others made no mention of such.
They could be phantasms and shades, but I can't say if they were real.
John keeps silent, not knowing what to say about what he's seen. Who could that woman be? Shaking his head, John picks up a pair of packs before helping Gabriel lift a longboat. They needed if they wanted to get between the islands. The first island seemed somewhat intact, only a few melted buildings stretching upward toward the sky, with dragon and sphinx statues adorning them in between the rubble-strewn areas. It almost looked like a ghost town. Gabriel strokes one of the dragon statues on its crest and looks around, eyes filled with wonder. Since it's getting late, the four companions find a building and make camp on the upper floor, blocking the staircase with some debris.
But he's
As they sleep, John hears
looking
strange
around
sounds
like,
coming.
"My God, this is exactly what I wanted to see."
Yeah, just kind of that wonder. I probably could have.
It's like an amazing, because you could have just had these three fuckers go here, but you got this guy who's like, "I wanted to come here since I was a little boy," and he's like, "Oh my God, the statues, the smoke, look at the green goo. This is amazing."
Yeah, and just I kind of wanted to have this like kind of when you're kind of going into an adventure type thing, especially of a lost civilization. It's always a fun thing to have like a Milo Thatch character
I expected you to kill him, like him get like sucked up by like quicksand or something. You know, like I thought you were gonna do something to this man. So I was like, I have to really revel in the voice as I play him because he's gonna die. And then I got to the end, I'm like, he didn't die. Oh, I thought he was gonna die. I thought this guy was dead for sure. I thought that he was the character that you put in just to kill.
No, I had considered
Have you seen the
Euron.
Mummy when they get that old guy who's like, all right, well, we have to go fly the plane, and then he like he gets like sucked into the sand. I thought you were gonna do this to this guy.
I did consider having him fight Euron, having a whole fight with Euron at the end to kind of like get out of the thing. But then by that point they had gotten control of the chimeras, and I was like, all right, change of plans.
Imagine like this is the moment that everybody thinks that he's gonna die because it's like, oh no, he's fighting Euron, and then he kills Euron. That would have been sick. Like he just like slid off Euron's head, and he's like, didn't learn that from a book. Learn that from the heart. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, that would have been pretty cool too.
I probably should have described it. I did a little bit more. I think that would have been cool.
I don't even remember the end of this. Let's.
Yeah.
I remember the character. I
Elena
don't
look
remember
up in
the
fear.
story.
The dwarf automatically
Yeah.
cuddling against the silver-haired girl.
I remember there's a
while she
part
holds
where like
ghost
they're
paddle
all
to John and
sleeping
puts his
and
head under the
they're like
bastard's hand.
scared of the shit
Then
that's
they see
happening
it.
around them, but I don't
A
remember
monstrous
details.
lion with a mane of tentacles
Yeah.
and a barbed
Oh,
tail prowling
and
around their
chimera.
building. John and Abriel quickly grab their crossbows and get ready to fire. Then they see more chimera start moving through the dark fog. Some had wings, and others had two heads that snapped and bit at
And
whatever was near
others
them.
had two
Some were more
heads.
lizard-like. Their
Some
long
had
claws
three.
striking against the stones as green liquid flowed down from their fangs. Some had tentacles grafted onto them. If the company tried to fight, they would get swarmed. For a moment, John and Abriel stared down toward the pack, then slowly breathe out as they move away toward the ship. Not wanting to stay, all of them quickly rush down and start running toward the outskirts of a ruined city. As they move through the streets, they hear a loud, shrill cry, almost like a hurt child. John is about to run toward the voice, but Abriel grabs his hand and shakes his head.
Whatever is making that sound is not human. We need to keep running.
How do you know that? It could be someone who's shipwrecked like us.
Listen, the sound is just barely off. It's also wordless.
John blinks, then listens more carefully.
it's wordless.
Abriel's right. There's something just barely off about the sound. It was too well pitched, and there were no words.
It was
just
too
repeating
well
cadences,
pitched.
swallowing.
Oh my
Then they
God.
keep running, only to hear
Yeah.
more sounds and pain and suffering. Elena and Tyrion cover their ears, but since John and Abriel were carrying the longboat, they're forced to endure the sounds. Both men grimace.
Yeah,
and try
one
to
of the
block
things I
sounds,
want-
but they're only
Like one of the things that I wanted to do with this episode is explore different kinds of horror. Like with Meraxis, it's like this almost like you're out in the elements, and just this freak of nature just comes at you, and you can't do anything. You just have to hold on. And then with this, we're seeing kind of almost a more haunted house, Resident Evil, zombie or werewolf type deal, where you're stuck in a location and you're having to deal with some monsters, but also just the horrible sounds. Like I really wanted to do like what's the worst, just thought of like what is like a really awful sound that would draw people, and I was like children in pain, and that just sounded like it would be horrifying to deal with. And I just thought, oh, I gotta use that. That was kind of my thought with kind of that whole thing, and them being forced to not be able to cover their ears, and them having to endure all of the sounds.
You ever thought about doing diarrhea as a horrible sound? They're like, oh my god, there's diarrhea everywhere in the fort. Like it's just they're like, oh god, what do we do? No? All right.
Maybe I should. It probably would be funny.
They'd be scared. They'd be so scared.
Yeah.
But
I do
also,
remember
no,
the
absolutely children screaming is like the scariest thing you'll ever hear. Yeah. Because you want to go towards it, right? You want to help, but you can't.
yeah.
'Cause
But
it's-
yeah, both acts as something really horrifying, but it also acts as a perfect Venus flytrap. That part just draws you in.
I have this thing that I'm working on called a diarrhea fly trap. And I don't know if it's going to work, but I'll try it out next time I write a script. No?
Okay. Okay.
You don't like the diarrhea fly trap? Can I go?
Oh, no, I think that would be fun.
Can I go
I
to the
think that would be
really quickly? I have to pee.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So with a lot of this, it's me. I just wanted to just explore a bunch of different kinds of horror, and it was honestly really fun to be able to just do something where it's like not based around like epic battles. It's more just around this one little adventure out here in the wild where you're kind of figuring out, oh, something bad is going on, and this place is just weird. And that was kind of just my thought process with this, because it's just kind of this weird, horrible place, and it just makes people just go insane and think, oh, what is going on here? That was the main thing that I was thinking of. We kind of also have other things like just kind of taking a lot of chimera ideas. I submitted them a bunch of images, like specifically. Let me actually chimera yo. Let me pull it up, because I actually specifically submitted like this image for some of the chimera. I found a bunch of chimera images, like this, and like this thing right here. They ended up not.
Are you
using
trying to
it.
prove to people that chimera exist? We know.
No,
Oh.
no. I'm just showing off the reference images that I submitted to them. To our editors, they ended up not using it.
Oh, they use like it's like a lion or something, like something bullshit.
Yeah, something more generic. And I was like, oh, come on. I gave you some really cool ones.
As they go, Gabriel looks around the buildings.
There could be some books in an old safe. Even the 14 flames couldn't destroy some of the vaults. Perhaps we could look in those large buildings there.
Damn, it's such a good. I'm doing such justice to this man's voice. I feel like I am.
Yeah.
I almost want to
sure.
send it to him and be like, hey, I did an impression of you, and I think it's pretty good.
I would concur. You did a great job in this voice. I would
You
definitely
did a
agree.
part 2 to this, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure out a way to bring him back, because he would be fun to bring back. Same with Elena.
You could do like a thing where he comes through like a stained glass window and he's like, and he's got like an Iron Man suit on, like made of Valyrian steel, and he's like, I figured out how to make a Valyrian steel Iron Man costume.
Okay, I love that. That is awesome. That is so awesome.
All right, let's keep going. We gotta get through this. We've been almost going for an
clambers
hour.
up the side of one of the buildings and
Where-
starts jumping from roof to roof as easily as a monkey through trees. Ghost sniffs the air and then pads through the ruins. Eventually, Elena yells and waves at them that she's found something. It's a large steel door, strange designs and buttons placed across it, but it's still mostly intact. Eagerly, Gabriel starts running his hand over the door.
Magnificent. It's an entire door made from Valyrian steel. Fucking hell. That much Valyrian steel could buy a whole kingdom. Agreed. But the true value of this device, my friends, is its ingenuity and its design. Watch.
Smiling like a child on his name day, the older man presses his fingers against one of the knobs in the steel. Instantly, it clicks and then glows with an ethereal light. Gabriel smiles
he
and
knows
glances
how to
at the rest
use
of them,
it?
stroking his white beard in satisfaction.
Yeah.
Before he can continue, his eyes widen and he points upward. John turns and draws his sword. There's a chimera with the front end of a serpent and the legs and pincers of a crab.
Man, that's an
Tyrion
okay
immediately takes
chimera
cover, while Elena
coming
pulls
through a
out sling and
hole.
starts
I don't
firing
mind that
lobs
one.
at the creature.
That's okay.
A pair of stones strike the
Yeah.
snake head and causes it to scream
I
shrilly.
like
this
Before
one, actually.
This
John
is
runs
okay.
at the creature and hacks off its head. It takes
Yeah.
3 attempts, but it
This
finally
feels
stops
okay.
moving. Grunting, John looks around, and they hear more calls in the distance.
I did
Swallowing,
have,
John hefts his sword
in,
and
uh,
Oh
passes
my
back and
god,
forth.
look at John's
It's
body
more
here. This
Gabriel.
is way
Try and get that door open. It's our only chance.
I can try, but I need time.
Tyrion, grab a crossbow and find a good place to shoot from. Elena, get as many stones as you can and prepare to start slinging. Gabriel, we'll buy you as much time as we can.
Both Tyrion and Elena grab their weapons and
I
run
do
to a
find
pair
it
of elevated
unbelievable
portions
that
of the wrecked
these
building.
four fucked up this many chimera. But I mean, that's fine. We're in Lord of the Rings like it's fine. Like this is what's happening. It's not Game of Thrones. It's Lord of the Rings. It's fine.
Yeah, kind of. I should have been a little bit better about like just making the chimeras a little bit more.
They
little
should
bit
have been
more
like the
mean.
size of dogs or something, like a bunch of chimera dogs, like yeah, not the big, and then maybe a big one comes at the end, and they're like, and they have to
Yeah.
really fuck up the big one. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
like they're cutting their like this is crazy. This is crazy. Like,
Yeah, it is crazy. I would agree. Yeah, it is crazy.
it's okay though. I like the story though. I really like the story a lot, so I'm not gonna like give it that much guff. But good lord, man, they killed that many chimera. That's fucking insane.
I thought it was they only killed like 4.
4? That's a lot. They should have killed 1, not 4. It should have been 1 chimera hunting them the whole time. It shouldn't have been, and then 10 chimera come out of the corner, and then another 10 chimera come out from over here. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? These guys just, one of them's a dwarf.
True.
Okay,
True.
let's keep going. It's fine.
While the others prepare to defend themselves, Gabriel frantically examines the door and runs his hand over it, searching for some kind of pattern. John glances around, then looks at his sword and wipes it off. The Valyrian steel didn't have a mark on it, but where the blood had touched his clothes,
Look at
it
John
smoked
in this
and hissed.
picture.
Damn, today just keeps getting better and better.
John, more coming. John looks around, then turns to see another chimera, this one with ram's horns and a mouth
This
with
time
a split open jaw. John
more
rushes forward and drives
fun
the
than
sword
the
down the
last
creature's throat as it leaps at him. Choking
Yeah,
and gasping,
that's actually from
mouth
Raid
to
Shadow
blade,
Legends.
slicing itself even
I
as it
should
dies.
call it
Grunting with effort,
Shadow
John pulls his sword
Legends.
free.
Yeah,
More
also it
creatures
says
rush through
with
the ruins,
ram's
leaping
horns.
over
It
rubble,
has no
bounding
ram's
through
horns
broken
at all.
windows.
Babe,
Yeah.
how are we looking?
I did give him one with the head
Almost there.
ram's
Maybe a
horns,
moment to
but
figure it out. We don't have a moment.
Not wanting to get surrounded, John retreats back to the building's open entryway as Tyrion and Elena fling rocks and shoot bolts into the creatures. John's arm
I have
rapidly
to
grows
tell
tired,
people
and
to
Ghost isn't much
just
better as he
listen
tackles
and
the
don't
chimera so
watch.
John can kill them with a sword. Gabriel keeps on fiddling with the door,
Better.
swearing under his
If you
breath
just
when he gets
close your eyes
information
and
wrong,
listen to it,
until
it's
he taps
better,
on
man.
just the right sequence and then
Yeah.
presses on the central stone. The creak, the door opens, revealing a hallway stretching into the earth.
It worked. It bloody worked. Hurry, inside, inside.
Relieved, the companions rush through the open door and then pull it closed behind them. Darkness swallows them immediately. Exhaling slowly, Gabriel starts.
All right, so
feeling around
this
the
one
walls
they didn't kill
and
any
finds a small
chimera. They
house
just
carefully.
escaped. So
yeah,
that's good. That's good.
yeah, yeah. I think they killed maybe 1 or 2, and
This
then
guy is their Gandalf, though. He's like,
Yeah.
I know how this shit works. They're like, how? And he's like, I don't want to tell you right now, but I'll tell you later. And then he goes down. He's like, well, I didn't actually know it was gonna work. It's maybe it was gonna work, and it worked. So we're alive. Like how about you guys just fuck off and let me work over here?
Yeah, I'm alive, motherfuckers.
He turns it, and as he does, the walls and floors emanate a slight bluish glow. Grinning in satisfaction, Gabriel motions for them to follow. Tyrion and Elena have their weapons, as does John.
I think this must have been a bunker for a very wealthy family.
Maybe he's cut off when they reach the bottom of the slanted hallway. It's a large living area with several emptied cupboards, some hallways leading to other rooms, and a set of 4 skeletons, 2 of them small enough to be children sitting at a table.
Yeah, they're all eating.
Reverently, Gabriel sinks to
Yeah.
his knees and begins
This
praying
was
to
a
Valyrian,
thing
as
that
if
you put in
begging
where I'm
mercy.
like, wait, how does so did this world just like die? Like they all just died.
I guess my thought was, I kind of made it up, but basically, like Valyria like exploded functionally, and my thought was that some people managed to get inside of a bunker,
And then
and
some people got gassed by like the aftermath gases or something.
the thought here was that they didn't want to get to leave the bunker, and so they decided to take their own lives.
They took their own lives?
Yeah,
This is a suicide table with children? What the
Skeletons
fuck?
into a side room and find some blankets to cover.
well, I wrote it.
Probably a family that hid in this bunker to escape the doom. They died trapped in here, likely afraid to leave because of the chimera.
Do you think they starved to death, Uncle Abe?
No, child. They didn't die of starvation. They had an empty vial next to them, along with empty cups. I think that they believed all was lost. So rather than die with a slow death from starvation, they took their own lives.
That's horrible. They killed children too?
They likely saw it as a mercy rather than watching them starve.
Yeah.
Parents shouldn't kill their
This
children.
is literally I'm her.
I
What?
myself, be faced with the choice.
There,
forgot about
please,
this.
at least. Let's get some sleep.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it like really horrifying.
Overnight, all of them
It
pull
is
the beds from the
horrifying.
rooms into a single place.
Because I'm like,
Tyrion
wait,
and
how
Elena
did the
sleep
fire
side by
get in
side while
here?
John
And how are they eating dinner while it happened? I'm the dumb.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
what the heck? They shouldn't they be, burning like in pain? Shouldn't their skeletons be like, ah! What's happening?
Yeah, maybe I didn't think too hard about that. I should have done better.
No,
Gabriel
it's
takes the
good.
first watch.
He
then
literally
Tyrion
explained it to
takes
them
the
like,
second.
no,
They
they
let John
all
sleep until
killed
morning since he'd done
themselves.
most of the
It's
fighting.
fine.
As John dreams, he's in the midst of the ruins of old Valyria, seeing the wreck of the once mighty empire. As he does, a storm gathers above him. John immediately backs away, trying to find cover as Merax's face appears in the sky. Tilting her head, the elemental
Meraxes
being
is
looks
still
down at John.
floating out
Then
there?
the storm starts to build and rain down lightning all around him. Gasping and panting, John attempts to run, but as he does, the tide starts to rise,
Oh, it's his
pushing him
dream.
back towards the goddess.
Sorry, I'm
Look
like,
a
what the
child
fuck?
about to squash an ant, Meraxis raises her hand and brings it down on John. clawing for air. John sits up and makes for his sword, only to find that there's no danger. Shaking, he lays back on the bed, stroking Ghost's fur to calm down. Snuffling,
You know what
the
it
alarm
is?
dial
It's
flips
because
John's
we're in
face. Gabriel
double
notices John
speed.
wake up
We
and
don't
sits
get
next to
those
him,
like
offering
dramatic pauses where I'm like, John wakes up. It's like John wakes up. John goes does this. I'm like, no. You can leave it on. It's already passed. It's passed. I was like, why is it? Why is he? I thought it was the same story, but it's like no, John. I know how to be like John wakes up. Like I'd say it so that you know it's a dream at the beginning, right? Like just like at the end when I'm like, and then that's what happened in the story. Like I know how to do those. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, I would agree.
small piece of bread. John eagerly eats it, then looks up at the door.
So, what did you see in the storm?
My daughter and my wife were in the clouds. Then Meraxis pulled them apart.
I saw a woman who looked like an older version of my sister Arya. I'm not sure who she could be. Meraxis crushed her with a fist.
Perhaps they are intertwined. We shall have to ask what our friend saw. But maybe it's a sign that our loved ones are in danger. Or it could simply be a capricious goddess playing with her food before she eats it.
That's a disturbing thought. Do you think we can escape the storm?
thought.
I don't know, John. But I don't think that we can survive here for much longer. We've had 2 close calls already, and we barely escaped. I worry that the next time we will be surrounded and killed.
Taking a long breath, he glances toward where Elena and Tyrion were huddled up next to each other.
Pretty
like
good,
siblings
pretty good.
after one had had a nightmare.
Yeah,
After following Gabriel's gaze, John extends his hand toward the
I
older
like
man.
that conversation.
Gabriel sees his meaning and takes the hand in a
Yeah.
surprisingly firm grip, silently agreeing that they would do whatever they could to protect the two.
You weren't always a scholar, were you? It was a swordsman's calluses. My master at arms and my father both had them.
No, I
So
wasn't.
can I,
Gabriel pulls up his shirt to
as the guy who reads and all this, right? Like you have a little break in between those two conversations. You could have made these two. You could have made these two conversations one conversation, and it would have came out at the end of the tube the same. I understand why you broke it up, but it could have been one, and we could have been one done. Get the fuck out, and then we move on with the story. I like the little breakups every once in a while, but in this story in particular, this one right here, fucking get rid of it, man. If they're talking and then they're gonna talk again, just make them talk about what. And then they woke up and then they were like looking around and then they had another conversation. It's like, okay, well, just have them fucking have the whole conversation and then move on. They've already fought Chimera. They're in Mirror World. Like they're scared. Like just don't worry about having 2 conversations, you know?
okay, fair enough. Yeah,
What it felt like to me is like you wanted it to feel like it was like they've been there longer. It's like they're already terrified. You don't even need to make them longer there. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep
that
going.
makes sense.
reveals several scars across his torso and on his arm. John nods slowly in understanding, then asks for Abriel to teach him. Smiling, Abriel promises to teach him everything he knows. Once the other two are awake, they start planning on what they're going to do to get out of there. They don't have enough supplies to last more than maybe a week, and only if they really ration things out. Finally, they agree on a plan. They're going to make a run for it. They're going to try to get to the water and use the boats to get out to the open water. Unfortunately, when they come out, they find that their longboat has been destroyed. Elena looks distraught.
Who did
while
that?
Tyrion is much better. John and Abriel exchange worried looks. Then, with no other options, the companions start their trek again. Carefully, they pick their way through the buildings, using them for cover whenever they hear a pack of chimera coming through them. Eventually,
pack?
They find a ruined bridge spanning a chasm. It looks mostly intact.
You know what would have been
There
great
were some holes in
if
the
it
other
was
side,
like
knowing that they didn't have much of a choice.
if it was like all the animals that make up the chimera were like rampant around like a bunch of rams came for them and they're like, what the fuck, a bunch of rams. And they had to fight a bunch of rams and like a bunch of snakes and they're like, fuck snakes, and then like a bunch of lions and then at the end it's like like the chimera made of all the creatures.
Like a giant amalgamation or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
And it's not a chimera. It's like a gross beast made of all of them. Like there's like snakes everywhere and like ram heads everywhere. Like it's like a blob of monsters. Like, and they're like, what the fuck is that? And like someone's like, I think that's a chimera. And it's like, but not what we get the pictures of. Like they've all seen a chimera in drawings before, but they've never seen something like this. It's got 1,400 tongues.
The better to do the Lord's kiss with, I guess.
Yeah. It just like removes all the skin from your head when the Lord kisses you or whatever.
All right.
Companions as they go across. Almost halfway through, they encounter a problem. Part of the bridge was missing, a very large part.
Well, it looks like you're going to have to toss me. If anybody says anything about wolf tossing, I will eat their supper.
Wouldn't dream of it, Terry. You want it under or overhanded?
Ha ha, very funny. Just make sure you don't send me dropping to my death.
John and Abriel take Tyrion by the
That's
arms.
context
swing
right
back
there.
and forth. And
I
hurl him over the gap.
I had to re-record that line twice for both of them because I didn't understand the context when I recorded them before, and I was like, he went ha ha, and I was like, that's not right. It has to be ha ha. Like it has to be ha ha. Like you're a bitch. Don't say that about me. I'm a dwarf. So I had to go back and re-record it. But like, right? It's better. Ha ha is better than ha ha. Right? Like ha ha.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I 100% meant it to be like ha ha ha.
Yeah, and I don't usually do that, you bitch. I don't. So I did. I went back for your stupid fucking script and I re-recorded ha ha just to make it better.
Yeah.
Right?
I should have put sarcastically in there.
You probably put a word that I was like, I don't know what that means. Because sometimes you put a word as the descriptor and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? It'll be like squiggingly. And I'm like, squiggingly? What does squiggingly mean?
Maybe I put sardonically in there by accident when I should put sarcastically.
I feel like I know what sardonically means.
Huh. Maybe I should check that. Now I'm like, I need to check that script. Let me check that script. Let me just grab my Google Docs because I kind of want to check that.
Yeah, let me check it too.
Let me see.
Sorry, I'm just typing. Let me just.
Yeah. Let me see because it was.
If you wrote sardonic, I mean sardonic. What it's like you're making fun of someone, right? Isn't that how it is?
Yeah. That's yeah.
Oh, you did write sarcastically. So maybe I just didn't read it.
So I tried. Yeah, I was like,
you're like, how much more can I do for you? You should write sarcastically and sardonically.
Yeah. So I feel so like I tried my best. I put sarcastically in there because I was like,
you're okay, like every time I come here, I am abused. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm like, you need to describe what you mean better, you bitch. All right, so let's go. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's my bad.
When Tyrion rolls and takes a stop, the remaining members of the party move over the gap. Finally, they arrive at what looks to be a massive library. Eagerly, Abriel runs inside and exclaims in wonder when he pulls large metal plates held together by steel rings.
Marvelous. I recognize some of these writings. This is a record of how to operate a glass candle. And this is how they make those glowing floors.
Yeah.
And this is how to forge Valyrian steel.
Like all the secrets of the Seven Kingdoms right here in front of our eyes.
They're making their way out toward the north. One sight that takes their breath away is the skeleton of an enormous dragon lying on the ground, a desiccated body resting against its ribs, clutching bright roar. John takes the sword and hands it to Abriel, who straps it to his back. As they
the
approach
reason they're here,
sections of the city, they start hearing strange slithering sounds. Immediately assuming it's chimeras, John and Abriel heft their weapons, only to see a pair of red worms with skeletal human faces. Elena gasps and looks about to be sick, while Tyrion stares in horror. Not wanting to face such creatures, Abriel grabs John and has him run as the creatures start slithering after them. Strange, hoarse sounds come from their misshapen mouths.
So the red worms are basically dragons without wings, right? That's how I picture them as in my brain.
Kind of. So they're described as like just snakes with human faces. Some of them.
How big are they?
So they're invented in Fire and Blood.
Just give me a ballpark. I don't need to know the exact.
They're one was as big and thick as a man's arm. But that's because it was. But it's the idea is that it was what was gestating inside of a young girl's body.
Ew.
And I was like,
oh, ew, ew. All right, let's keep going. I don't want to hear any more, you pervert. I know you're like next time on
Well,
this podcast.
it's meant to be it's meant to be kind of like Aliens, where it's basically like a bunch of like worms are inside of like her body and rolling around.
Yeah, I bet you would like to see a bunch of worms riling around inside of a young girl, you pervert. Let's move on. Let's move on. You sick,
Speech
twisted
somehow
fuck.
discernible as the threats of horrible torture.
It's not me, it's
and
George.
indescribable fates.
George made that up, not me.
Trying to blot out the sounds of the fireworms. Finally, they see the Enobrion and run inside, trying to compose themselves to do what they can to barricade the entrance to the once proud building. Then they hear it. Whispers
You
of
know
pain
who I
and
like?
distress, coupled with slithering and rustling sounds.
Old dad
Wondering
on
what this
in
would be,
this
travelers
episode.
make their way
He's
deeper
like
into
the
the
opposite of George
They
R. R.
find
Martin. He's like,
singing
everybody
like
run,
nightmare.
nobody pay attention to the perversions that happen on this island. I hate it.
10 people,
Yeah.
5 men and 5 women were seated on thrones carved from obsidian, their desiccated bodies
Oh,
still
right. This
somehow
is when they
breathing.
go down, they
Fireworms
find all
slithered
that
in an
shit.
endless circle, one for each of
Yeah.
the bodies. Elena immediately empties her stomach,
I
as
like
does
this
Tyrion,
a lot,
John,
actually.
Abriel,
It's
who
so
stare at the
cool.
Yeah.
horrifying tableau in front of them, unable to comprehend what they're seeing. Having reached his limits, John raises his sword and approaches the nearest throne.
This is like they're
Gabriel does the
on
same.
like a
Together, they
Cthulhu
kill the
island,
corpses
and they're
and
like,
causes
What
the
the?
fireworms to
This
scream.
is why everything is crazy here. We need to destroy this circle. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, but and especially like the idea where they're still alive, and the fireworms like come like kind of almost like an Ouroboros like through their bodies, like keeping them alive.
I was
Arrive as the
Ouroboros
hosts
in a
surge into
D&D
final
campaign
death.
once.
One by one, they hack
Really?
apart the fireworms
Cool.
until there's none left.
It
As the
took a
last
long
one
time
falls,
for
a
us to
horrible
realize,
psychic
but at
scream
the end,
erupts through
they're
the
like,
temple.
"Wait, are
John,
you
Gabriel,
Ouroboros?"
the
And I
women
was
fall to
like,
the ground, clutching their heads.
I had this
with Tyrion
nose
remains
ring
standing.
that I would always fiddle with,
After
and I pulled it
the
out, and
ghosts
it was a
start dragging the
snake
others
that
out of the building,
kept
right
eating
as
its
he
own
hears
tail.
the
I'm like,
sounds
I
of a pack
think
of
I
Chimera.
am. And I was. It turned out I was. It was
That
pretty
is
cool.
so cool.
And at the end of the wait, I told you about this. And then at the end of the game, I became the constellation of
god.
Ouroboros. Yeah, I became the constellation of Ouroboros.
That
fucking
is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like you said I broke the game. God.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, the thumbnail always goes.
I'm pretty good at D&D.
Yeah, you are pretty good at D&D. It's one of your one of your many talents.
Breathing out, Tyrion
Many
looks around
remarkable
and sees a
talents.
glimmer of metal
No,
in the
thanks.
upper area, hoping that it's a usable weapon. Tyrion runs into a floor right as a half wolf, half lion chimera prowls through the window. Swearing, Tyrion throws himself under the chimera as the monster leaps at him with its wolf fangs, while its lion foreclaws sweep at him. Tyrion swings his axe, slashing off one of its wolf hind legs before swinging his weapon into its side. Instantly, it screams and goes still. He can hear John, Elena, and Abriel screaming in pain, while more chimera calls rise. Tyrion pulls his axe free from the monstrosity and tosses the smoking, useless blade aside. He needed a weapon that could kill these creatures without being ruined. Tyrion follows the glint of metal and
Yeah.
finds a skeleton clutching a Valyrian steel sword with a black metal handle. Eagerly, Tyrion rips the sword free from the skeleton's
Yeah,
mouth.
so actually there was this was kind of a little bit of a weird mistake on my part. I actually forgot that John had a Valyrian steel sword already. and,
It's fine. No one gives a shit
Um,
about that.
and well, basically like I actually had this scene earlier where John's sword disintegrates.
I don't know if you know this, but people only give a fuck if the voice actor fucks up. They don't give a shit if you
Yeah.
write something bad. So
Well,
I'm
no,
joking.
it's-
Everybody cares
yeah.
about every single detail. It's horseshit.
Yeah. But so like what I do is okay, I just rewrote that and just put this in later where Tyrion gets to have a hero moment of his own,
Right.
where he like gets to take on a chimera and his axe disintegrates, and so he has to take a different sword. Have a
I don't-
sword. Yeah.
I didn't notice that, and I read it out loud into a microphone.
Well-
So if I didn't notice it, then who gives a shit?
Well, no, like I noticed it like during the editing phase. Like it was earlier during the first thing.
What I'm saying is that I didn't notice it because have you ever seen Jurassic Park, the movie Jurassic Park?
Yes, I've seen it a couple times. Yeah,
Do you like that movie?
I like Jurassic Park. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like any of the sequels, but I like that
Oh
movie.
no, I'm talking about the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The very
Yeah,
first.
the first one. Yes.
Yeah, there
Yes.
is a moment in that movie where John Hammond, the character, is like, "I have a thing that I want you to come to my park. I've made a park," and it's Alan Grant and his wife, and they're they're like, well, no, we were saving that. And he's like, for today, I guarantee it. And he like, pops the cork. And then he's pouring wine for everyone. And he's telling everybody about Jurassic Park. And he gives everybody wine glasses. And he has this rag, and he's drying things and wiping things with it. And 3 times in that scene, it goes from white to red to white to red. The rag in his hand.
Dang, that's impressive.
And you know why you've never noticed that before? Because it's a good scene. Like, the scene is good. Yeah. You like the scene. The reason you don't notice the rag changing colors is because the scene is good. If the scene was shit and boring and bad, you'd be like, look at that fucking rag changing colors, because you'd be looking at other shit, but you're looking at the performances, you're looking at the story, you're looking at everything else. So don't worry about that.
Oh,
that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Well, no, I don't worry. I'm not worried about it. It's just kind of a little fun thing that I realized during the writing process, where I saw a little bit of a problem, but I was like, I don't want to waste the work that I have. Okay, let's just move this work that I've already done, just change a couple of things, and I can keep this bit.
If
and then
I ever meet you in real life, I'm gonna throw a red rag in your face and be like,
probably, yeah,
red rag, bitch. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The white rag is what people see. They never thought about the red rag. Don't worry about the red rag.
Well, I know I fixed the mistake. I'm just talking about how I fixed the mistake.
Red rag.
Yeah. But yeah, I like talking about little bit. It's a pieces where I'm just like, oh, made a slight mistake. Okay, let me fix it while still keeping some things like I
mean, this is a good episode because there's so many times where I'm going through with you and I'm like, I have to delete that whole thing because it's horrifying to me. We haven't had that in this, so let's just get to the end.
Yeah.
Brandishes it.
Yeah.
Now that he has a proper weapon, he drags them out of the building before shoving the door to the fireworm's lair closed. Once they're outside and the door shut, the other 3 stop screaming and slowly get to their feet. They then hear a new disquieting sound. What seems to be a dozen chimeras swarm toward their position, roaring and howling for blood. John and the others.
A dozen chimera? Come on,
miles,
man. One. Just one. Why can't it be one?
We'll hold them off.
John, you'll die.
Get out of here. I'll buy you some time. May not be much, but me and Ghost will.
He's cut off when the chimeras halt and sniff the air. Then they start yowling, roaring, and howling in unison. Confused, they all look at each other. Then when John advances with his sword raised, the chimeras back away, as if in terror of him. Albert's mouth is open, while Tyrion and Elena's faces are frozen. Curious, John lowers his sword and walks to one of the creatures, who lets him stroke its head as meekly as a pony.
So you think that we might have broken whatever spell was controlling them?
It is possible that us killing those poor souls did something. Wait, I think that I have the answer. Those were blood mages, and the fireworms were feeding off the magic, and the using the chimeras as guard dogs. Once we killed the hosts, the fireworm hive mind died, and the control of the chimeras went away.
But we still don't have a way off.
Yes, that is still a problem.
Lord Inquisitor Dunn. It's such a good. I'm doing a good impression of him. It's so good. I'm like, wait,
agreed.
Is that me?
Agreed.
I don't say this about Tyrion and Jon Snow, but that guy, I think I'm fucking killing it. I feel like if I sent it to him, he would be like, "This is good."
I agree.
Do you remember the movie with the Deuce Bigelow male gigolo, where he was the male gigolo that I think in that movie he dies or something, and Deuce Bigelow has to pretend to be him or something?
I don't know if I've ever gotten to watch the Deuce Bigelow movie. I need to, though.
My friend Spencer works in film, and he's talked to that guy before, and he's like, he kind of is just that. He's that charming, at all times. He'll come up to Spencer, a guy who's doing data management for the camera work, and he's like, "Hey," and the guy's like, "Hello, Spencer. How are you doing today?" He's just actually that handsome and charming, and he won't ever be like, "I don't know who you are and I don't care." He's always like, "Hello, Spencer. I know you from yesterday when we spoke. Yes, would you like some tea?"
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome that he's that dope of a guy in real life. That's awesome. I love that.
Anyway,
he seems like he's.
Let's get that.
I'm not traveling with his abominations. Before John can speak, a chimera with eagle's wings and a mangled mix of lion and goat flaps down and from the east and gives a call, causing the others to growl. Curious, the 3 start walking in that direction. John and Ghost keep an eye on the Chimera in case they turn violent again. When they get far enough, they hear sounds of people moving around on shore, hoping that it's someone that could rescue them. They initially run out, only to quickly find cover when they see the Kraken with the red eye emblazoned on the flag.
Ironborn. The bad sort too, by the look of that ship.
I've heard rumors about Euron Greyjoy. He is apparently vicious and cruel beyond all description.
This could be our chance. If we can get that ship and sail out into the
A
open.
more
There's a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
people
read
down
it.
there. Do you think we can beat them and get
A more apt comparison is the cliff in the T-Rex enclosure appearing somehow. Yeah, I've seen a million ways to explain it, but yeah.
That's a hard one since it's just how does the T-Rex get out of it since there's a pretty big cliff.
Listen, I've seen so many people explain it, and I believe every single time. Every single time someone explains it, I believe every version of it. So I don't care.
Yeah, fair enough.
ship? We'll have to try at least.
It's the
How
red
many
rag.
options
It's
do we
like
have?
you don't care
We do
because the
have
red
something we
rag
don't.
is
Everyone
not the
nods
thing you
slowly
care
and
about. You care about the
understanding
white rag.
before the crew of the Silence knows what hit them.
Agreed.
A horde of chimeras emerge from the ruins of old Valyria and attack, savaging them mercilessly. Euron attempts to fight, but is torn apart by the monsters after only killing a pair of them. Once the Ironborn are dead, John and the others gather as much Valyrian treasure as they can. Once they've collected enough, as well as what the Ironborn had reaped, they set sail toward the west. Killing the Blood Mages had also dealt with Meraxus, and they encountered no storms on their way to Valentis. Once there, Abriel starts work on a forge and spell work to craft new Valyrian steel. He also makes a copy of some of the more valuable texts and hands them to John and Tyrion. For months, they remain in Valentis, establishing the new forge, as well as the light sources. Abriel takes on Elena as his assistant, and the urchin takes to helping him organize his business with great alacrity. One evening, as they work on the ledgers and requests for more steel, Abriel puts his hand on Elena's shoulder.
My child, you don't have a home, do you?
Not really, no. I've been on my own my whole life until John picked me up off the streets.
No family to go back to?
Nah,
No family
it's
to
just
go
been
back
me.
to?
But I figure now I can buy a house with my share of the treasure.
Elena, I actually would like you to stay here as my ward. I can teach you all about court etiquette and everything else.
Oh, I
have
remember
plans
the
to
second part
I can
now.
pass all-
The
Yeah.
second part is good, but I think that these two were not utilized nearly as much in the second part.
I probably could have. Yeah,
It was a lot. It was a lot about John and Tyrion, but like these two, I'm like these two are my faves, man. Like, they're the best.
Yeah. I probably could have used a little bit more of. Probably should have used them a little bit more. I remember like John and Abriel and Tyrion go off to try and get people to migrate to Old Valyria.
This is one of those characters where she should have been with John the whole time, and John and she should have not once should they have ever like bumped nasty at all. And it would have and she should have been like every girl that came up to him, she should have been like, not good enough for you, not good enough for you, no, not that one, not that one either. These are all gross girls, you shouldn't do this. And then Tyrion should be, but also Tyrion could have worked. Oh yeah, there's good meat here, man. There's such good meat here.
I probably could have used them a little bit more. I just was like, ooh, how do I utilize them with this settling Old Valyria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I do? And he's like,
You must not read from the book.
You must not read from the book.
For over 3,000 years, we have been watching over this burial site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get through it. I
my
mean,
knowledge will do. And you seem
Yeah.
like you would stand to benefit from that. What do you think?
Elena's eyes water, and she hugs Abriel, thanking him over and over again. Eventually, John and
Yeah.
Tyrion ask to take their leave.
I was just like,
Abriel
I do
never
like that
said
she
to
became
go,
his
but they can't
ward.
deny them.
That's pretty cool because that means that she probably knows how to like forge Valyrian steel. Even
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. Give her and
Abriel
her and
asks
Gendry
for
have
one
a story
favor.
together.
After they agree, he hands
That
them
would be
the
interesting.
letters that's been on his desk waiting for the right time. When they leave, they take the Silence, loaded up with the treasure, and sail up through the stepstones. Upon disembarking in King's Landing, they find that the Fiery Stag and the Direwolf are flying over the city.
What the fuck is going on here?
Not sure, but those are my father's
Yeah,
killers.
fuck is
So I
going
imagine
on.
we can ask them some questions.
When they arrive, the two companions find Stannis and Ned in the throne room. After recounting their adventure, they find out that after the incest of Jaime and Cersei had been revealed, a short brutal war had ensued. Tywin and Renly were dead, and Stannis was
I
now
hate
king.
when my
Ned
voice
had
does
resigned
that.
his hand
After
following
the incest of Jaime and Cersei had been revealed. Like, because sometimes I actually I have dyslexia, right? So like I have to like pause because I see a word and I'm like, that's not what that word is supposed to be in my brain, right? Like I see it and I'm like,
I was about to say Jumbo or something. Like I was about to say something completely wrong. And so I stop and I read it and I'm like, Jamie, not Jumbo, Jamie. And then and it makes me sound stupid, but like at the same time, I'm not stupid, guys. I'm not.
There's just like a little bit of a disconnect.
Mhm.
I have a similar-ish disconnect where I have dysgraphia, where I have my fine motor skills are very poor as compared to my gross motor skills. Or like my handwriting, I can't.
Well, we all know that you have the grossest motor skills of anybody that's ever lived.
This is
You know,
well,
bitch.
yeah. Well, you haven't seen my nasty stuff. I have way more nasty stuff that I have published.
all right. Let's finish the episode. I'm sorry I didn't mean to
Threats
call you
against Daenerys, but
gross.
Stannis had enlisted him back.
I love it. I think it's hilarious.
I
I've been
you
called
set-
way
I
worse
mean, you
things.
set me up so well for gross motor skills. Yeah, this guy loves.
Yeah. Though I don't use my hands to masturbate.
Oh,
I have a different.
God. I use my shoes.
And had rescinded the bounty.
No, I just humped the bed.
Since you had no part in your siblings' treason, I name you Lord of
Jesus.
Casterly Rock. I'm impressed. Very few could lead an expedition to old Valyria and survive. But you did, Snow.
At that point, John takes a sword from his pack and offers it to the king.
Oh,
Stannis
boy.
takes the
Oh,
blade
my
and
voice
bears
there.
a few inches, then sheathes it.
For this gift, I'll legitimize you as Jon
How do you
Stark.
feel about my
As far as
Stannis
lands go,
voice?
I've
That's
got a
all
few-
right.
I think it's pretty much a perfect Stephen Delane impression.
You think it's perfect?
Yeah.
Holy hell, you think my Stannis voice is perfect?
Yeah.
You
I
know.
can't really think of
Lord
how.
Inquisitor Dunn, Neil. I will knight you now if that's the case.
Indeed.
Get on
I
your
shall take-
knees.
I shall take it.
I
Which
said
sword do you
get
want?
on your knees if you want it. Frink, frink. That was the sound of my sword on your shoulders. You've been knighted, Lord Inquisitor Dunn. Sir Lord Inquisitor Dunn of the Seven Kingdoms.
Pretty good, right? I do a good
Yeah.
Stannis. I think my Stannis is
Yeah. Yeah, you did a good Stephen Delane impression. Yeah, like Stephen Delane as Stannis, it's pretty much perfect. I have no notes.
Lord, there's castles that need to be occupied, so take your pick of the list. Proudly, Ned embraces
It
Jon.
almost
claps him on
sounds like the
shoulder.
guy in the video
Together they walk to the
that we're
Godswood.
watching.
Yeah.
Good work, son. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Father. But could you answer a question? I saw something. A woman who looked like an older version of Arya. Everyone else saw someone important to them, but I didn't. Who was she?
Well, I promised that I'd tell you about your mother. So here's the story.
A few weeks later, Jon and Tyrion knock on the door of an infirmary. After asking around, they'd finally discovered the object of their search. A Valentian woman with unusually dark hair wipes her hands and walks up to them.
And what are you two gentlemen wanting? I don't see any injuries, so it must be something else.
Talisa Megir,
Oof,
I presume.
not,
Yes,
not
I
a
am.
good voice.
Now, could you tell me what this is about?
No, this is that's a bad voice. Yeah.
Well, I actually like that voice, but I like it for Sarah Blackfire and
Yeah,
Sarah
not this
Targaryen.
not this character.
Yeah.
This is bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she kind of is kind of a higher pitched
But was
voice. I
she
think,
is this supposed to be the character that marries Robb Stark?
in the show. Yeah.
But in the story.
She does marry Rob, but under very different circumstances.
So this is the same character is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I need more information sometimes because I know how to make her voice sound good, and this is bad. Her is like, hello, I'm Rob's future wife. I'm a robot lady, and I love being robotic. Blah 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 blah. Like I can make it better. What the fuck?
Yeah. I didn't mind it, but I guess we're always the most critical.
I don't like it, and I did it. Okay, let's get the. fuck
I've
out
got a
of
lot of work to get done with tending to the wounded after this recent war.
We came with some letters from your father, Abriel. He's a good friend of ours, so we decided to deliver them personally.
Frowning, Talisa accepts the letters, then reads through them. When she reaches one detailing her mother's death, she covers her mouth and starts crying. Jon awkwardly pats her on the shoulder, then stumbles when she hugs him, then does the same with Tyrion.
Thank you, both of you. This means more to me than anything in the world.
As the two friends ride toward Casterly Rock, Tyrion starts whistling. Jon joins in, though he's rather off tune. Tyrion laughs and is back in his saddle.
You know, I was thinking, since your father told you who you are, we should think about getting your Aunt Daenerys back to Westeros.
We'd have to get her out from under the bloody Dothraki, Tyrion.
Yes, but we could unleash the chimeras on them. We'd be able to grab her. Besides, you need a good wife to share your new castle with. Who better than the most beautiful girl in the world?
You're right on that. Well, Tyrion, Let's go on another adventure.
Laughing, the bastard, the dwarf, and the direwolf galloped back toward Lannisport to board the Silence. Their next adventure awaited.
See, I do a good job at the end of every episode. I do a good job of and then they figured it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Next adventure awaited. Yeah, I kind of thought like this is the end. Let's kind of do this. And then people were like, please part two. And I was just thinking, okay, what would I do for part 2? And I was like, ooh, Swiss Family Robinson in Westeros. I love that movie and that book.
And I love Westeros. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this episode.
I like this episode a lot too. I think that it gave me a lot to work with in terms of voices, because like it's not giving me the standard Jon Snow, which is like, I'm so scared of everything that I don't know what, but I can be like, come on, let's go. Like it's giving me more to work with him. Tyrion is more or less Tyrion.
Yeah.
The other character that you gave me is like my favorite character that I've ever had to do, where I'm like, the mummy character. Okay, I can do that. And then also, what's her name? She's
Elena.
Yeah, Elena is good too. Like I feel like I think I did well with all the characters. I think all the characters are good.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of just a lot of this is kind of like the reason why it's your favorite is mainly the like the voices that you were able to do and kind of just the knowledge. No, as well.
That's not the reason I like this is because it sends them somewhere that they have a contained story that is their own. We don't have to worry about everything else going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate the stories where we have to be like, and then what about the White Walkers? And it's like, who gives a fuck about the White Walker? I like this story that's happening right now. Like, let's see what happens here. Mm-hmm. And you focus on that, and you move into a different world. And the whole idea is Jon Snow wants to find power, but not from his family. He wants to find it himself. Tyrion Lannister knows that there's a sword that will give him power with his family. This pickpocket is a pickpockety bitch, and we're like, what's her story? And like she joins, and then there's some guy who's like, I want to go there because I know that there might be a story that I could find. Like that's all good. Every single one of their stories is good, and they all are satisfied in some way within the story. That's why I like the story. I don't give a fuck about anything else in Game of Thrones. I could care less. It's how I feel about Star Wars. It's like, give me a good Star Wars story. This is a good Game of Thrones story, but I will say it was a little bit too heavy on like the like let's but like, do you know what I mean? Like not the romance, but I mean like the fantasy elements of it. Like everybody, like people are gonna be like, no, we need to know what Stannis is doing, and Stannis is like, well, I heard a volcano went off in the Chimera Islands, and the last time when a Chimera Island volcano went off, it meant all the chimeras were woken up. Like that's what they want, right? They want to hear that kind of shit. We don't need that.
Yeah.
It's a good story. It's a good story because it's a good story. That's why. I guess is what I'll say.
Okay.
How do you feel about that story? I mean,
I am actually really proud of how this turned out, where I get to kind of flex my horror muscles, and I did a little bit more horror stuff in the Emma Aaron living, because I was so bored with that prompt. I was like, I have no idea what to do here. There's no conflict. I'm just going to do a haunted house script and a house story.
Absolutely. I mean, when in doubt, haunted house. That's what I always say. I mean, that is what I always say. I say it all the time. Why would you do anything else other than a spooky script? If you don't know what to do, then like make everybody like grab onto each other and go, oh my.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just kind of like just random political nonsense where it's just like nobody's against each other. I have no factions to work with. What do I do? And
wow. I mean, I don't want to stick around too much longer because I
Yeah,
gotta go to
yeah,
bed.
for sure. I gotta go to bed too.
I'll tell you that is a good episode, man. I love that episode. I love the fact that they are in a world that has almost never been touched by any of the books, really. Like it doesn't exist, right? Like you just made your own thing, and that's fucking cool. And you made your own characters, which is also fucking 2 characters in that story are just your original characters, which is great. I love that. And I love that one is like a map where he's got like I always picture him with like a bunch of maps, and he's like and he's like
Yeah, he's like,
I'll be like, oh, well, this one. Yeah,
he's like,
that's fucking cool.
Yeah. I honestly really liked writing this, and I liked coming up with Abriel and just having him kind of be and like I think I give it you, and I'm glad that you liked him too, because I was like, okay, I kind of wanted, I imagine him as Odo
I will
Fair.
say that when you give me voice prompts, or like when you're like, this is what I want, I usually am like, fuck you. Like that's how my brain goes. I'm like, get the fuck, I can do whatever I want. But that one where you're like, it's the guy from The Mummy, I'm like, all right, yeah, all right, give me more, and I'm like I can do this, and I think I did a good job.
I would agree. You did a great job, 100%.
And you did a good job too writing it. It was a good episode, man.
Yeah. Would you say it's still your favorite, or
I think that yes, yeah.
Okay.
I have done a couple more recently that I'm like, these are good, but this is still my favorite episode for sure. I love Tyrion, I love Jon Snow, and I love that you created 2 random characters to join them on their adventures into fucking old Valyria. That's cool as hell. That's such a cool idea. I mean, like everyone else is like, well, and then we're gonna have 10,000 soldiers fight 20,000 soldiers on the hill of the done fuckers, and they're all gonna be done fuck at the end. I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of this. Like, why do I care? I don't care.
Yeah, if you aren't invested in like the characters that are inside of the battle, what's the point?
I know. I want to make the story of Brienne of Tarth and the Hound. I want to make the 2 of them, like, you know, that moment where Arya's like between the 2 of them in the show. I don't think that happens in the book, but in the show that happens, and I'm like, I want her to be like, both of you, and they're like, what? And then the 3 of them and Pod like go together. Like that's like a pod that moves through all of the 7K. I'm like, that could be so cool. What does that mean? Like, imagine them just like like fighting, and it will be so good. It'll be so good.
I would love to do that, and I think that since the road trip episodes have done a real pretty decently well, like most of the I think the first House of the Dragon road trip episode has done the best out of all of them, with kind of the other ones kind of being like trailing behind a little bit. But like I feel like road trip episodes have done pretty well so far, like especially the this one.
Where would they go though? I mean, like, because like that's like the 2 going in the same directions, right? Like where they're leaving the Eyrie, they're going towards the Eyrie, and like they're meeting for the same reason basically, and they like, that's why it's so cool in the show, is that like they fight, and then, you know, she fucking uppercuts him off the cliff. That's like the coolest shit ever. Like Brienne of Tarth is so fucking cool. But you know, like you know, but where do we go if they joined up? Where would they go after that? Because they would have an argument about where to go, but where would they go?
Maybe the Reach, because the Reach is the most untroubled by war area.
But that's so far away. That's like the furthest point. I think they would maybe continue going. No, they would go to the Wayman Manderley. That's where they would go. They would go to Wayman Manderley. Yeah, they would go to White Harbor.
Yeah, since Wayman Manderley is many things, but he is the most loyal of loyal Stark bannermen.
Yeah, and they got a Stark. Yes, this is a good idea. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not talk because I have to go.
Yeah.
But
all right.
This was a good talk, I think.
Yeah, I would agree, and it's I really like hearing your passion about this. I'd love to. I've seen like a few other people. I've had a blind reaction to my favorite episode, but I'd be interested to kind of like see what you think of my favorite episode at some point. But we'll do your favorite episode. Do Star Fox is. I promised you that we would do your Star Fox episode,
Right.
kind of as the alternate.
We'll do that eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I do like going in with, because I mean I like doing ones where we work together because that's better. Because usually I will be like, "Are you some sort of twisted pervert?" And you're like, "No." So like it's fun to talk about that kind of stuff too, right?
Yeah. So maybe I'll have to do the. Well, I don't know if I've ever said that I'm not a twisted pervert. I have fully admitted that I am a twisted pervert.
I didn't say you weren't either. I know you are. I know you are.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. Let's call it good. Let's let Mr. Boba Blackfly head to bed. I gotta head to bed too. I'm helping my girlfriend move tomorrow. All right. I'll see you guys later. This was fun. Bye.